Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. Pirates, starting Holy Lord Template, executing the Celestial Dragons. Chapter 61. 3 days later, Yi Zhou was almost holding his watch. During this period, he visited the Golden City. The Golden Emperor Tesoro persuaded everyone to leave overnight. Feeling bored, Yi Zhou went to the Subjugating Islands again, but he didn't expect it to be even more desolate. When he heard Yi Zhou's name, he hid faster than the Golden City. The water park in Alabasta is very well run, but the tourists were so scared that they peed their pants when they saw Yi Zhou. There is nothing we can do. Yi Zhou went to the coffee shop on Fishman Island to chat with Mrs. Xiarli. Mrs. Xiarli, who never entertains male guests, specially made afternoon tea for Yi Zhou. When I heard Yi Zhou say that he was looking for a winemaker, I wanted to recommend him. Mrs. Xiarli said there was a pretty good beauty winemaker in New World. That is the Ice Witch Wide Bay. Yi Zhou thinks she is very suitable for this, but she is also good as a soda fountain. After returning to Beehive Island, when Yi Zhou was about to find out where the Ice Witch was, he thought of Kaido from Wano country again. This guy is always drunk. He must have good winemakers under his command. 3 days left. When he saw the time when the mission started, Yi Zhou felt melancholy in his heart. The system, it really took advantage of his little thoughts. The previous special main mission had a countdown, and Yi Zhou only felt a cramped feeling of being forced to complete the mission. Now it's my turn to do a task that I can't perform without time, but I miss my previous tasks very much. Yi Zhou, who was bored, took a sword from Rebecca and went to barbecue. Let me see what the big news is in today's paper. 6. The world conscription ended quickly, and 2 new generals were recruited. Quote. Yi Zhou poured wine on the beef, adding a hint of wine aroma. He took a bite of the barbecue and smiled at the content in the newspaper. In order to deal with the growing Demon King pirates, Marine Headquarters has specially launched a global recruitment. Fujitora, who was supposed to be famous for at least 5 years, smiled. Green Bull Aramu. As a result, he was promoted to the new general first. Instead, the 4 emperors became the 3 emperors. Among the 7 warlords of the sea, only Tyrant Bear is left, and he is cooperating with Vegapunk's research. For this reason, especially when Whitebeard Newgate couldn't take care of it, recruited Whitebeard too, who was hiding in New World. Even so, the so-called 7 warlords of the sea exist in name only. In private, he was ridiculed as Wang Sha or Wahai, the King or Wahai, the 3 emperors of the New World, and the 5 generals of the Grand Line. Yi Zhou snapped his fingers. Go to the cage and hand the newspaper stating that Whitebeard too has become the new 7 warlords of the sea to Zephyr. Are you here to humiliate me? Zephyr already had the same newspaper in his hand. Nonsense, otherwise I'm here to sympathize with you. Yi Zhou took a bite of meat and thought of Hawkeye's red wine and red-haired West Blue wine. I'll have to knock them some other time and bring over a few boxes if I wish. Cough cough cough. Zephyr was so angry that he coughed like crazy. Yi Zhou is indeed a bad person. As a former 7 warlords of the sea, he has to break his defense. If that's why you want to persuade me to surrender, you are simply talking nonsense. Even if first leave Marine, I will only chase pirates. Zephyr tried hard to calm down, otherwise he would be angry to death by Yi Zhou. You're overthinking it. I just think it's draining money from the bottom of the cauldron. Yi Zhou pointed to the newspaper. This made Zephyr's mouth curl up. Do you think this is all Marine's background? No, those who don't have the foundation are the second best. I will soon start a war that will engulf the new world. The overlord of this world will no longer be Marine. Quote. Yi Zhou stared at Zephyr, making him shudder. Hey, what are you going to do? You, don't even think about taking advantage of me. Zephyr's face changed drastically, and he had already thought of some possibility. Yi Zhou wants to use him to trigger a world-class war. Become the truly undisputed overlord of New World. What a lunatic. It's okay. Wouldn't it be better for you to be an introduction to the new era? Yi Zhou snapped his fingers, and the light covered him. Sengoku and the others will never fall into the trap. Zephyr finally understood the reason why he could survive to this day. Yi Zhou wanted to publicly execute him, which led to the siege of Marine Headquarters. Really, I don't believe it. Whoosh, the light fades. Robin was reading, and Yi Zhou came here and picked up a book. 100 ways to hire others to make wine. Captain. The phone bug rings. Yi-Jo and Robin's eyes focused at the same time. Khalifa's voice sounded. Master Captain. A group of pirates from South Blue captured 3 draconians in the Grand Line, demanding exchange for 300 million belly. Oh, Yi-Jo didn't expect that other than him, there would be someone so brave. Their captain calls himself Kid and is only 17 years old. It seems that after we sailed all over the world, we chose to go to sea. This kid is a magnet who ate the magnetic fruit. Gulu gulu. The phone bug rang again. Robin picked up the phone with both hands and held it lovingly to Yi-Jo's ear. Lord Demon King, a crew member of the New World Whitebeard pirates, has betrayed. This man's name is Blackbeard Teach. He not only captured 5 celestial dragons, but also gathered a group of people to form a pirate group. I want to use this as a certificate to become a member of the Demon King's fleet. This time it's Vivi's voice. What is it all about? It should be more than 3 years before Kid and others go to sea in the extremely evil era. Could it be because of Yi-Jo's wanton adventure, which made Captain Kid, Blackbeard and others choose to give it a go? Where are Kid and Blackbeard? Yi-Jo felt that it was time for him to make a comeback. Kid is on an isolated island in the Grand Line. There are a lot of dinosaurs living there and the climate is hot. As soon as Khalifa finished speaking, Vivi said calmly. Blackbeard didn't come in person. It was his crew that sent 5 celestial dragons, just outside the waters of our Beehive Island. Quote, I see. The two have completely different styles. Kid reported his position directly and only wanted to exchange for a sum of money. Blackbeard said he would send a certificate of surrender, but in fact he did not dare to come in person. I know, I'll be right back. Yi-Jo's eyes of Aurora flashed. He came from the New World Beehive Island to a summer island on the Grand Line. There are a lot of dinosaurs living here. There is also a pirate ship hidden in the deep forest. Captain, will the Demon King pirates send Bailey and gold? The crew seemed a little nervous. They chose to go to sea after their trip to South Blue in Yejuo. As soon as they entered the Grand Line, they learned that the Dracos could exchange for Bailey. Unexpectedly, I would encounter a very arrogant Tianlong on an extremely rich island. I heard it was after Yi-Jo swept through New World. For the sake of safety, the Tianlong people chose the Grand Route where Marine Headquarters was stationed as a place to travel. The dangerous Sabayati Islands were also excluded. But I didn't expect that as soon as I changed places, I would be taken away by Kid and others who were short of Bailey flowers. If we don't come, we will be found by General Marine soon. Kira held 2 knives in his hands and his body was covered with bandages. Admiral Marine, what kind of monster is that? Kid had more bandages on his body and his arms were still intact, with a look of longing on his face. Whoosh! A ray of light appeared in the sky. Kizaru was hanging in the air, with his hands in his pockets, quietly watching the forest. Ouch, that's really scary. If a precedent is set for the Tianlong people to be kidnapped. Everyone is catching the celestial dragons to find the Demon King in exchange for Bailey, and the sea will become even more chaotic. Quote, Kizaru appears to be half body, half mecha. The real him is still hidden in this Vegapunk modified body. Just like the elemental clothes, it was just turned into a flash. I found you, novice pirates who don't understand the rules. Kizaru pointed out, and the laser light flew out instantly. Kid, who was resting and recuperating in a thatched hut, suddenly had a hole in his chest. His body was bent into a bow, and his mouth, which had been opened in pain, was biting hard. However, the blood couldn't stop spitting out. His teeth were stained red with blood, and he immediately covered his chest. What kind of attack is this? Kira looked up immediately and saw a gap in the roof. He jumped up and wanted to take action against the intruder. Boom! He jumped halfway and was kicked away. Laser kick. The 2 powerful forces of the Kid pirates were destroyed in one breath. It's scary. What kind of monsters are you who were inspired by the Demon King? But all adventures should end here. If it wasn't for the time being that I couldn't show up. You will be killed the first moment you attack the celestial dragons. It's okay now, the higher-ups have decided to wipe out Beehive Island. It's time for me to take action, without worrying about the negative effects of the mechanical body. Quote. Kizaru's lazy voice sounded. He appeared in the thatched house and adjusted the frame of the mirror, making everyone silent. Marine Headquarters General, Kizaru. The young children gulped. Magnet reflection. Kid reached out his hand, making a tentative move. Unexpectedly, Kizaru's body started to tremble slightly. Part of your body is actually metal. He didn't expect that the legendary marine with the highest combat power was actually a robot. You know too much. Huang Yuan held the Tianzongyan sword and slashed out in an instant. Even if Kid and Kira joined forces, it would be impossible to block this blow. Whoosh! The same golden light. A body 7 meters tall appeared. Ever since the battle with the red-haired pirates. With the magic energy of the mountain, Yi Zhou grew a little taller. He was more than twice the height of Kizaru, and as soon as he appeared, he blocked the sunlight shining on Kid's face. The light and shadow are refracted, and the silhouette of Yi Zhou is printed. It's this back view. Kid's heart was racing. He had seen it in the newspaper when he was in South Blue. When I heard that Yi Zhou had taken away a pirate named Bonnie, there was still some dissatisfaction in my heart. It would be great if he was the one who was taken away. And he went to sea because the person he loved died. Inspired by Yi Zhou's deeds, he resolutely entered the Great Route. Hello. Yi Zhou didn't look back, his voice seemed particularly rich. Kid, Kira and others couldn't help but feel a strong sense of security. Young pirate, what you fought for with these brave seconds. There will be countless people's resistance to the Tianlong people. It's him. Completely confirmed. He rules the world and his power spreads all over the world. Rumor has it that he defeated the world's greatest swordsman with his sword skills. The red-haired man admired him and gave up his power. Defeat the Bigmom pirates and become the emperor of the sea at the pinnacle of pirates. The strongest in group fights is probably Demon King Yi Zhou. So the world says. Did you copy another devil fruit that allows you to move quickly? Kizaru swallowed. He has always been a person who likes to do things leisurely. Now Marine is under pressure from Yi Zhou. Although summoning Whitebeard 2 and Tyrant Bear to form the King's Urwahai is very criticized. But the world recruitment also allowed Marine to add 2 more generals to its headquarters. Marine, who was supposed to be under great pressure, sent Kizaru to carry out this mission. Unexpectedly, as soon as he went out, he met this person who should not be messed with. Long time no see, Kizaru. Yi Zuogang wanted to say hello. The 2 hands wearing pirate gloves raised the sword and blocked the Tianzongyan sword. His other 4 hands have not moved yet. Are you going to fight with me? Yi Zhou grinned. The wings of wind and thunder stretch out, and the flames flow. The tail, dragon claws, and horns grow out. The strong sense of oppression could not be concealed by the robe. He is like a devil from hell, and the first-generation ghost in his hand is burning with a layer of flame. Demon King Yi Zhou, your good days are over. Huang Yuan glanced at Yi Zhou and retreated decisively. What a fart at this time. Is he seeking death alone? Standing in the air, Kizaru crossed his arms in front of him and quickly condensed the light jade. 8-foot beautiful Magatama. Call out. The light jade flew out and was condensed to only 5. Any one of them can destroy half of the island. Is it enough for you to eat a pot, Mr. Demon King? The answer is not enough. Yi Zhou didn't even bother to fly. He stood on the island and roared like a lion directly into the sky. Boom. This time, it also incorporates armed color and domineering. The ultrasonic domineering cannon shot across. At the same time, all the light jade was shattered. Kizaru's transformed body was shaken and resonated wildly. Click. The sound of shattering sounded, and in less than 1 turn, they all turned into pieces. Kid looked towards the sky, in the blood mist. A glowing monkey fled like crazy. 8-foot mirror. Base. The light is constantly refracted in the sky and escapes at the fastest speed. Kizaru is really a monkey, I thought that was his nickname. Kid's outlook on life was shattered. Isn't it right? Yi Zhou turned around and heard Kira say, you are also the real devil. Why not pursue him? Seeing Kizaru escaping, Kid felt that the root of the problem should be eradicated. Because there is no reward. Yi Zhou patted Kid on the shoulder. Kid fractured his bones on the spot and looked at the pirate he admired most in pain. What is a reward? It's just something that makes your body deteriorate. Kid, Kira, where are the Dracos? I need to take them to find a good job. Yi Zhou wasted no time. When they arrived at the place where the Tianlong people were imprisoned, The 3 Tianlong people who were tied up were yelling. But when they looked up and saw Yi Zhou's face, they instantly turned pale. Here are 300 million Baileys. I hope you can survive the marine pursuit. Yi Zhou threw out a suitcase and burned 2 of the Tianlong people to ashes. Only one remains. Because she was a beautiful celestial dragon, she just happened to take it back and give it to Baby 5 and little Sadie. Demon King. When Kid faced Yi Zhou, who asked him to go to sea more than 3 years in advance, his heart was filled with excitement. What, do you want a signature? Yi Zhou raised the Tianlong people with one hand and asked. No, I want to know how powerful you are. Kid's eyes were full of enthusiasm. Before Yi Zhou appeared, everyone in the pirate world wanted to be one piece. After the rise of Yi Zhou, the pirate world had a second choice. Ask me again when your 3-color domineering power is advanced, your fruits are awakened, and your physical skills reach their peak. There was a flash of light. Yi Zhou returns to New World. New World. Beehive Island. Shirahoshi is outside the sea area in an artificial calm zone composed of Poseidon species. On a small pirate ship, Lafitte is quietly waiting for the arrival of the Demon King pirates. Behind him were 5 tied-up celestial dragons. He claimed to have come to surrender, but he actually came to test it out. In the original timeline, Blackbeard should have used Firefist Ace as his pledge to become the 7 warlords of the sea. Unexpectedly, after Yi Zhou appeared, he used this to pretend to be a prostitute. At the moment, Blackbeard rebelled against the Whitebeard pirates and began to hunt devil fruits on the sea. He also gathered a group of friends, but they did not become the 7 warlords of the sea as planned in the original timeline. I don't know what kind of wishful thinking he is making. Haven't shown up yet. Lafitte smiled and turned around, planning to leave. It's not safe to show up here with the celestial dragons, if General Marine takes action himself. Beehive Island is determined to be fine, but he will be buried in the sea. The celestial dragons are an untouchable taboo for most people in the sea. Buzz. The pirate ship suddenly trembled, as if it had been hit hard. Tilt towards the bow of the ship. Boom. The cabin was blasted open by a punch, and Yi Zhou's tall body gave Lafitte an invisible sense of oppression. Magic. Lafitte just wanted to greet him politely before speaking. As a result, Yi Zhou directly removed the roof of the cabin. This cabin is too cramped, and it's too boring for me to stay here. You wouldn't mind if it was taken down, would you? Yi Zhou's words made Lafitte swallow. It doesn't matter whether it's a fledgling kid or an experienced Lafitte. Yi Zhou all had different feelings of shock. This is the oppression that being an emperor of the sea brings in the eyes of pirates. Of course, I don't mind, please do as you please. Lafitte took out a palm phone bug. The 5 Tianlong people behind him also saw Yi Zhou's appearance through the sunlight. He was still roaring crazily, cursing that Lafitte would die without a burial place. When they saw Yi Zhou, 3 of the 5 people immediately peed their pants. The other 2 fainted on the spot. Draco Nemesis. Even the generals would not dare to rescue the Demon King Yi Zhou if he didn't run away. How can you still urinate anywhere? It's unhygienic. You need to know how to replenish fresh water, vitamins, and sugar on the sea. Hygiene and sleep are the most important. Yi Zhou's words made Lafitte hesitate to speak. He found that all his original words were interrupted by Yi Zhou's appearance. Lord Demon King, please listen to our Captain Blackbeard talk to you for a few words. The phone bug rings. It can be seen that the Blackbeard opposite the phone bug was also stunned for a moment. Blackbeard, how long is his beard? Actually, I'm still growing my beard. Teach's voice appeared a little reserved. In front of Yi Zhou, Blackbeard felt a little shy even when he was communicating through phone calls. Then don't call him Blackbeard from now on. Change his nickname. It's really exaggerated. Okay, I'll contact Morgans. Teach cleared his throat. Mr. Demon King. The 5 heavenly dragons sent above were intercepted on their way to the Golden City. It is not for Balian gold, but to give it to the Demon King to vent his anger. I only hope to join the Demon King's fleet and become one of your pirates. Blackbeard Teach's words made Yi Zhou tilt his head. So it turns out that you are holding it back here. Anyone with eyesight can see it. The reason for the massive expansion of Marine headquarters is to start a war with Yi Zhou. Joining the army at this time is not just to fish in troubled waters. Are you a beauty? No, but. Teach hesitated to speak. Then why don't you join? But the Sun Pirates, the Vinsmoke family, and the Fur Pirates are not beauties either. Teach even wanted to make a quibble. I am a member of the Guangxi Pirates. There are relatives and friends in my crew. Do you have any friends in my pirate group? Yi Zhou felt that Teach's little thoughts were just seeking death. I don't. Teach is ashamed. Master Demon King, we are willing to follow you for the rest of our lives. The liver and brain are so messed up that they dare to go to any danger. Even if it is a sea of knives and fire, I will never give up. Teach is not afraid at all, it's just about face. As long as you join the Demon King's fleet. When the war breaks out, he can expand his power and take over Beehive Island. Then you can attack Marineland now, or push forward the city. Yi Zhou's words made Blackbeard shut his mouth completely. He immediately threw out a suitcase. There are 500 million belly in it. He picked up 2 beauties from the celestial dragons with both hands and took them back to be trained as maids who work hard. Whoosh! A gust of wind blew. Lafitte was stunned the entire time. He looked at the remaining 3 celestial dragons who were half scared to death, picked up the phone and said to Blackbeard, "Captain, what should we do if the Demon King still leaves 3 celestial dragons? He stayed here on purpose for us to deal with." Teach was furious. "Take it back," Lafitte said cautiously. "You can't kill them, you can't bring them back, you can give them a small boat and let them wander around as they please." Blackbeard was helpless, he could only swallow this breath. "Start Plan B. I don't want to leave you here, I have my own place to stay." Beehive Island. After learning that 3 new celestial dragons had arrived as maids, Baby 5 and Little Sadie came to observe something serious. After changing into a clean maid uniform, training began. Yi Zhou glanced at the countdown. There are still more than 2 days left to go find Vegapunk. He rubbed his shoulders and took a special look at the warehouse and vault. Confirmation is enough. After all, there are shares from Tezzolo and Morgan's. Otherwise, if hundreds more guys are sent to the Tianlong people, it will be a headache. The next day, the kidnapping of the celestial dragons quickly made headlines and shocked the world. Shocking news, the Tianlong people were kidnapped. Who did it? Mysterious man reveals that Captain Kidd has a bounty of more than 100 million, and he is one of the pirates who kidnapped the celestial dragons. The Whitebeard pirates are getting defeated day by day, and their crew members are defecting. Shocking. Blackbeard's kidnapping of the celestial dragons was revealed. He had just received a reward, but he has disappeared. New World found the remains of 3 draconians. They were half-eaten by fish when they were found, and rescue efforts were ineffective. The mysterious man revealed that there are many Draco maids on Beehive Island. Yi Zhou felt bored after seeing these newspapers. Is there really nothing worth reporting? This Morgans loves to be popular all day long. In fact, what is truly terrifying about the draconian kidnapping is its chain reaction. The celestial dragons, who were originally regarded as unattainable and untouchable by the world, suddenly became no different from ordinary people. After Yi Zhou executed the Tianlong people many times, as the Tianlong people were put on a bounty and then kidnapped. The so-called world noble, the god who created the world, has fallen from the altar. The world understands that even gods are being watched closely by the devil who rules death. 3 days later, the Demon King pirates gathered at the port early in the morning. According to Yi Zhou, I am going to visit the future kingdom today. That is the world's #1 brain protected by the world's government. Claims to have mastered technology that is 500 years ahead of its time. Not only do CP0 organizations often come to visit, there are also scientific guard troops headed by Zan Momomaru all year round. There is also a Marine G-14 branch base nearby. There are also giant sea beast defenses around and on Honeycomb Island, but they are mechanical sea beasts. The main mission has reached the start time. Go to the future kingdom, invite Vegapunk number 2 Lilith and No. 6 York to take them away and become crew members. Task reward. Copying medicinal powder, Xiaoyu version. Yi Zhou yawned. The newspaper bird just flew over happily and was slapped away by him. Go away, I'm not in the mood to read what that idiot Morgans wrote today. Special hidden mission has been triggered. Clear 7 warlords of the sea in the old era. Tyrant Bear has not yet been officially defeated, defeat him in the future kingdom. Task reward. Giant medicine powder, Xiaoyu version. Giant powder, Shoudama version. Giant powder produced by mistake will only turn the current body into a giant, not directly enter the adult state, without side effects. If this thing had been available, would that crazy woman from Bigmom still be wasting her time? Yi-Jo felt regretful when he thought of Charlotte Linlin. If I had met Linlin earlier, I would have prevented her from going astray. In this world, the only one who can cure Bigmom is Yi-Jo. If one punch doesn't work, just punch twice. Pity. This man has gone with the sea, and I am afraid that he has sunk to the bottom and been fed to the fish. This trip to the kingdom of the future. Not only can you find 2 new crew members, but you can also collect all 7 warlords of the sea. Lord Demon King, should we go by boat, or should we use your fruit power? Nami looked at Yi-Jo expectantly. Their expressions express their longing for the sea. I'm really fed up with your adoring looks. Set off and sail to the future kingdom. Captain, I want morning tea. Serve the wine. Yi-Jo has his own special health regimen. You must know that people's physiques cannot be generalized. Ain, Robin walked out of Khalifa's clothing store and put on brand new high heels. It seems that Khalifa is a collector of stockings and high heels. Also opened a nice store. Basically they only sell these few things inside. Oh, so bright. Yi-Jo could tell at a glance that the crew members had spent a lot of money from Khalifa. Khalifa, big boss. Khalifa felt very happy when Yi-Jo yelled at her. Sure enough, people not only have different physical constitutions, but also different mentality. Little Sadie gritted her teeth and knocked down the long whip in her hand. How she wished she was the one standing in front of Yi-Jo and being scolded. The 4 celestial dragon maids were on the verge of crying, but they must have known that they were the ones being beaten. How much did you make? Master Demon King, the sisters all like to buy clothes from my store. Nami works part-time as an accountant. I don't care how much you earn, I want Nami to give me half of the net profit. Yi-Jo is like this, he likes to make a fortune with everyone. It is better for the crew to enjoy their wealth alone than to enjoy it together with him, the captain. Lord Demon King, a marine battleship has been spotted ahead. Garrett the rabbit quickly reported while wearing binoculars. After the previous increase in demonic energy, Garrett has been able to maintain the Moon Lion state in normal times. The whole rabbit looks like a rabbit. The contrast between her long silver hair and cold eyes, coupled with her cute personality, is simply obvious. Big boss, it should be Marine sent to monitor our ship. But it has slipped away, should I pursue it? Quote, Violet's gesture of glaring at the fruit is really heaven-defying. Normal people will probably break their bones if they do this. What are you chasing? It's a waste of time. It's better to have morning tea if you have this time. Quote, Yi-Jo took a sip of the tonic medicinal wine. But he saw Ain's somewhat confused eyes on the side. It seems that she has had this expression since Whitebeard II was elected as King Ruahai a few days ago. Zephyr laughed maniacally after Yi-Jo left the cage, saying things like, Justice, justice. The Demon King. Ain was slightly rolled up, and his fluffy blue hair that almost touched his shoulders was blown by the sea breeze. There is a skull pattern of the Demon King pirates behind the blue cloak he wears. The high heels she wore made her figure even taller. It looks a little cold, like a slightly pointed chin that brings out the coldness. Maybe the sun is a little bit dazzling. Her eyes flickered, reflecting the sparkling waves of the waves. He asked with a trembling voice, Devil King, do you think there will be a day when justice will reign in this new world? Will justice reign in the new world? I have no idea. Anyway, I have already come to rule the new world. Yi-Jo had a smirk on his face, which made Ain stomp his feet in anger. You are so weak and still dreaming. Ridiculous. Without strong strength everything is just an illusion. Quote. Hearing Yi-Jo's words, Ain's eyes changed slightly. Zephyr Sensen is a former Marine general. The current mainstays of Marine are all his disciples. It is they who protect the current sea. Quote. Ain argued a few words. Yi-Jo ignored her. Drink the medicinal wine in one gulp. He said to himself, there have been countless legends on the sea in front of you. More than 30 years ago. There is also a pirate group called Rocks that exists on Beehive Island. Later, Bigmom, Kaido the Beast, Newgate the Whitebeard, Shiki the Golden Lion. As well as Wang Ji, John, Silver Axe and a group of other monsters are his crew. He was known as the king of the world but was still defeated by Roger and Garp. More than 20 years ago, Roger's arrival on the final island was called One Piece by the world, and it became an instant hit. As a result, he died in Rog Town, ushering in the era of great pirates. In the past 20 years, who has been the uncrowned king? The world's strongest man, Whitebeard. Kaido, the strongest creature in the world. No, it's me. What king of the world? One Piece, the uncrowned king. Death, death, old age. I am the only one alive to this day. It doesn't matter what kind of justice you want to implement. As long as you can step over my body, Yi Zhou, the Tianlong people will have to obey your sanctions. Can't do it. It's the dragon that coils around me, and the tiger that crawls around me. Quote. Yi Zhou rinsed his mouth and spit a mouthful of medicinal wine into the sea. When you get up early in the morning, take a shower so that you can feel energetic. I'm too weak. Ain fell between Tina and Dusky. Her will collapsed because Yi Zhou didn't lie and everything he said was true. He was so angry that he didn't say a word. Regardless of strength or reason, Ain was hit by Yi Zhou's dimensionality reduction. Next time, don't come here when Lousy just wakes up. I sometimes wake up so angry that I kill someone in my sleep. Suppress your unhappiness and complain less in front of me. The day's plan begins in the morning, don't affect my good mood. Quote. Yi Zhou walked towards the bow of the ship. The huge treasure ship Demon King ignored the waves on the sea. The helmsman, Shirahoshi, the force fruit user, is steering the ship with both hands. She has strong biceps just to drive every boat for Yi Zhou. Boom. A sea beast was hit. Shirahoshi panicked and said, Lord Demon King, I seem to have accidentally killed a small animal. It's okay, it looks like it's not a small animal. Yi Zhou stood on the bow of the boat. At first glance, it turned out to be a mechanical sea beast with horns. The future kingdom is here. I'll take the first step, and you guys should follow me quickly. The mechanical sea beast is nothing to Yi Zhou. He jumped onto the island. Any obstruction can only barely touch his afterimage. Ready to fight. The vice captain, the Empress, turned the mechanical beast's head to stone with a flying kick. It was naturally easy for the Demon King pirates to land on the mere Egghead Island. Even the Red Earth continent will explode at any time. Sorry. Shirahoshi punched out, and the force fruit immediately smashed the sea beast's mechanical head. What is the devil doing here? Is father here? Bo Ni possesses the demonic energy of the mountain, but because of the perfect version, his body does not expand. But the physical strength is already extremely terrifying, and any mechanical sea beast bites him for a long time without any reaction. They are all fighting with all their strength to reach Dantu Island. Egghead Island. Future Kingdom. The huge eggshell is suspended in midair, but it is actually the brain of Vegapunk, the user with brain fruit ability. Yi Zhou came here and looked around. Air conditioning, holographic projections, food-making machines, everything you need is available. According to the current timeline, Pacifist and Seraph are both supposed to be half-finished products. The mechanical sea beast also seems to be lacking in combat effectiveness. Where are Lilith and York? Yi Zhou's domineering power instantly covered the entire island. Super long-range sighting is very targeted and very useful for long-range attacks. And he used the thunder and lightning demonic energy to drive it in all directions, and used Enel's skills to quickly cover the entire island. Produces an effect similar to telepathy. In this way, not only can everyone's strength be quickly scanned, but they can also be heard talking. Found it, on top of my head. The island of Future Kingdom is divided into two parts. One is the ground, which is composed of Zon Momomaru and scientific troops, as well as a large number of robots. The second is the sky, which is Vegapunk's big head, divided by an energy network. It can block a large number of attackers, even those with animal abilities will be instantly burnt on the outside and tender on the inside. Activate defense, everyone is ready to fight. A large number of tall mechanical armors and small robots appeared to form a defense layer. The surrounding buildings quickly changed and turned into attack ports. The ground layer seems to have entered the strongest defense mode. A familiar voice appeared. Yi Zhou took a quick look and saw that it was Zon Taowen. Like Kizaru, they both wear the same clothes. It should also be controlled by the semi-reformed person. Demon King Yi Zhou, if you don't take the path to heaven, you will have no way to break into hell. This is the most heavily defended future kingdom. It's enough to bring down the 4 emperors. This time, you, as the 4 emperors, will definitely die. Zon Momomaru received the message from Marine headquarters early. The Demon King pirates on Beehive Island are attracting much attention. As soon as the Demon King left the port, some people began to speculate on the route. 4 emperors will never fail again. Yi Zhou made a gesture. He is currently studying the advanced use of armament hockey and conqueror's hockey. Combining the magical energy of the wind and the magical energy of the moon, the legendary martial arts secrets are deduced. You are so confident. The future kingdom stands in the new world and is cared about by countless forces. The reason why we can feel confident is that there is an extremely terrifying defense here. Quote. Zon Taowen was filled with resentment. In the cockpit of his cyborg, the body that had been turned into a piglet was waving its hooves. He continued to scold and yell to express his strong dissatisfaction. Hum, you misunderstood. I mean, there are only 3 emperors left now. After I replaced that old woman from Bigmom. The red-haired pirates went to practice with Hawkeye. Quote. Yi Zhou sympathizes with people like Zon Taowen who are illiterate. Right, your pig's trotters should only have 4 toes. It is also normal for the 3 emperors to be counted as 4 emperors. Quote. Zon Taowen was furious and wanted to kill Yi Zhou immediately. Open fire and kill this guy. What 4 emperors, you are just a piece of paper in front of powerful technological weapons. Witness the transformation of the times, Demon King. Zon Momomaru brought up his brand new alloy axe. Seeing attacks hitting Yi Zhou one after another. Artillery, laser, long-range slashing. All to no avail. You must know that this series of damage is enough to defeat thousands of pirates in a short period of time. You just don't listen to what I say. It looks like more than 1 finger is missing. There is also a missing string in my mind. Quote, what kind of harm could Yi Zhou be afraid of with his body like this? Just, steel balloon, and mountain demonic aura, are enough to cause no damage. What's more, there is also the Holy Lord's body, as the basic attribute, and the Demon King's body is doubled. It would be a bit bullying to bring out all the 12 talismans, 8 demonic energies, and 3 colors of domineering energy. Yi Zhou stood in front of Zon Taowen without even using his domineering energy. There are no moves either. 1 punch blasted the cyborg's head into pieces. He took out the piglet hidden inside. Hum. A translator around the neck quickly converts sounds. Devil, don't even think about being arrogant. After Marine masters your route. The nearby G14 branch has been dispatched, as well as CP0. Piggy's eyes were very wise. And there is a powerful person on this island who may take action at any time. A big bear, it's not a fat tiger, so there's nothing to be afraid of. Yi Zhou's words immediately made Zon Taowen's face turn pale. He did not expect that Yi Zhou would also know the whereabouts of Tyrant Bear. The look in your eyes shows ignorance. It's domineering perception. Stupid pig. Eating your pig brain will definitely not replenish it but reduce it. Quote. Yi Zhou picked up the Zondao pill and threw it directly towards the island's defense layer in midair. Immediately there was lightning and thunder. Zon Taowen, who was burnt on the outside and tender on the inside, puffed out a puff of black smoke and rolled his eyes. You are really good and fun-loving. Who else? If there is no one, I will chop it up. Quote. Yi Zhou looked up and was about to step onto the top floor. A line of smoke has appeared in front of you. I saw bursts of smoke quickly filling the surrounding area. A figure condensed into an entity, holding the sea tower stone in 10 hands. A strong marine from the nearby G14 branch. Demon King Yi Zhou, do you still remember me? Since you left Rogue Town, I have been sent to the Grand Line for emergency treatment. After recovering from his injuries, he applied to become the person in charge of G14. I practice hard to become stronger just to defeat you one day. I swear, I will never let you defeat me with 1 punch again. Smoker, the smoker, has been recovering from his injuries for a long time, but he is still wearing a bandage. He was blowing out smoke from his mouth and staring at Yi Zhou gloomily. With just 1 punch, he went from recovering. And the bandage is not even taken off. This is my favorite episode. The defeated generals were roasted together. Quote. Yi-Jo looked at Smoker teasingly. Smoking man. Now you are indeed not something I can defeat with one punch. At most, one's head will be broken. However, there is no need for me to take action to defeat you. Quote. Smoker rushed over quickly, his legs turning into a puff of smoke to speed up. Escort, Chua. 4 figures appeared immediately. Luo Lan always pays attention to Yi-Jo's call. Dasky used the teleportation fruit to bring a few people here. The moment Rebecca releases her invisibility, Tina used the sil fruits to form a big net. Smoker, who used the body of smoke to dodge the obstruction, felt confused. Next moment, Dasky slashed it with one sword. Naturally, Smoker was not injured by Dasky's sword. Even after following Yi-Jo, he learned domineering. But Smoker is a veteran after all, so he can't be tricked in a short time. What really surprised Smoker was this. The person who blocked him was his old classmate Tina, and they both studied under Zephyr in the same class. Over the years, Smoker has had a bad temper and has made mistakes right after he started his career. On the other hand, Tina has already risen, and her position is far above him. Why did Tina, who once hated pirates the most, become Yi-Jo's bodyguard? And Dasky, whom he personally cultivated. This sword did not hurt, but left a mark on my heart. Now, let me introduce you. This beautiful girl is my guard. Yi-Jo didn't linger at all. He still has to go upstairs to do some errands. Don't even think about leaving. Smoker grabbed Yi-Jo's arm with one hand. The smoke was tens of meters long and connected to its fist. What on earth did you do to them? Dashi and Tina, who uphold justice and are willing to sacrifice their lives for it. What exactly happened? In Smoker's opinion, there is no doubt that those legends on the sea are true. I heard that Yi-Jo copied the abilities of dozens of devil fruits. Can completely hypnosis the crew into slavery. Smoking man, you are so childish. Yi-Jo's footsteps stopped. You and them, and me. Why are you walking further and further away? Have you implemented justice? Zephyr is imprisoned on Beehive Island, do you want to see him? Boom. Rebecca, Dusky, Violet, and Tina took action immediately. I'm sorry, Colonel Smoker, we have justice that must be carried out. Dasky slashed out with her sword, and she teleported in front of Smoker. Rebecca appeared invisible next to Smoker, with a hint of domineering on her sword. One of them is an Eastern swordsman and the other is a Western swordsman. Chaoyushin. Tina restrained Smoker with a sil covered with armament-colored hockey. Tears of hot iron. I wail. Violet used her power to attack with the gaze fruit, and her tears turned into a high-temperature steel wail. Puff. Only then did Smoker understand what Yi-Jo meant. Now he is definitely no match for Yi-Jo with one punch. Even his former friends and subordinates have grown so rapidly. The joint attack left him unable to parry and he was quickly defeated. Teleportation fruit, invisibility fruit, staring fruit, threshold fruit. The 4 abilities mean speed, concealment, locking, and restraint. It's perfect as a guard. Yi-Jo is not just looking for fun, he really considers the significance of crew members seriously. How should I do it? The crew all landed, and Smoothie, Bulling and others also dispersed the smoke. Use Smoothie's fruit power to squeeze it into juice. Yi-Jo stepped on Smoker, preventing him from elementalizing. Or let Bu Ling change his memory. After much thought, Yi-Jo chose to capture him directly. Are there sea tower stones? Yi-Jo looked around and saw Smoker's 10 hands of sea tower stone. Simply take it and break it into pieces. Call. The magic energy of fire and lightning are blessed on the electric eyes of the pig talisman. He forcibly cast the Halu stone into a pair of chains with his 10 hands. The restrained Smoker also transformed back into his true form. He looked at Yi-Jo with a question mark on his face. Halu stone is the hardest material in the world. Then what? Yi-Jo didn't know what Smoker was going to say. Do you want to read your mind? He is now able to listen to his heart with his knowledge and domineering attitude. You can actually twist out the sea tower stone chain with your hands. Smoker felt that there was no justice in the world. Rubbing sea stones by hand is no longer in line with the rules of the pirate world. If not, the Smoker's brain was damaged. Knock him out and take him away. Yi-Jo clapped his hands. When you Marine 6 style stepped on the air and went up to the sky, you didn't even ask about Newtonian mechanics. Now it's my fault for rubbing the seafloor stone chain in such a scientific way. Paramesha devil fruit even changes its molecular structure, it's really unreasonable. The mission goal is close at hand. Just step onto the second level of the future kingdom. Dasky, Tina, you have betrayed more than just justice. And the belief that is carried out in the heart. What? Let us who once walked side by side gradually drift apart. Smoker would never give in even if he was about to lose consciousness. So what if he was imprisoned on Beehive Island? At least Zepha's safety could be confirmed. Smoker, you've only seen the tip of the iceberg. When you get to the cage on Beehive Island, have a good chat with Zepha Sensen. Only when you know part of the historical truth and what we did will you understand. What we do is justice, and no evil can escape wherever the devil goes. Quote. Tina did not hesitate, after joining the Demon King pirates. She also experienced struggles, but only after knowing every secret and witnessing what Yi Zhou did he understand. Don't listen to what a person says, watch what he does. Colonel Smoker, follow the Demon King. It is a belief that I have engraved in my heart. What if one day I was driven off the ship by the Demon King? I will also go to sea alone to carry out my own justice. Dasky and Tina punched at the same time. Smoker fell headlong and was defeated by his past colleagues and subordinates. What were you doing just now? Yi Zhou was confused. Are you as angry as me when you wake up? I only chatter when I'm awake or when I'm dozing off. By the way, next time you confess, be more straightforward. Quote. Dasky and Tina's cheeks were red and hot, and they repeatedly denied that they were confessing. No, Tina is just telling the truth. I just don't want Colonel Smoker to get carried away. Yi Zhou had already forgotten this matter. Stretched. The wings of Feng Lei spread out. Just as he was about to jump up, he heard a cold snort. Well done. It seems the Marines and Science Force have been fighting you for a long time. This is enough to consume a lot of energy. Laughter came. A group of mysterious people wearing white suits and masks appeared in front of them. Their body shapes are far larger than those of ordinary people. They all look like orcs. After being defeated by you, we each ate animal devil fruits again. Not only is your fruit ability ignored now, it has also become more powerful. Demon King Yi Zhou, you didn't expect that we would be a blessing in disguise. Several people stood still. They do not need to give their names. At this moment, everyone's nicknames perfectly match the fruit's abilities. The original CP9 crew member was actually promoted to CP0 in a short period of time. Leopard, lion, cow, giraffe, wolf, owl. Yes, it's the CP Zoo. Yi Zhou was shocked. He didn't expect that today would really be a big roundup of dropped actors. Then why are you all orcs in fighting condition? Not directly becoming a human. Are you unwilling? Bruno is still a cow. Puff. Lu Qi was so angry that he immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. Bruno is a person with the door fruit ability. You can no longer eat animal devil fruits. But we have all become animal type ability users. Although you can't transform back into a human body, you can maintain your half-orc form. Lu Qi smiled slyly and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. He must make Yi Zhou repay his debt with blood. I'm tired. It's time for you losers to die. Khalifa. Yi Zhou really didn't want to continue the fight, so he simply called Khalifa, who was kind and courageous. It is understandable that Zan Momomaru guards Vegapunk. Smoker reluctantly accepted that he was recuperating at the nearby G14. Does your CP Zoo need to run so fast after receiving an order? It's only half a day's journey from Beehive Island. Rob Lukey was so unlucky that he didn't even eat breakfast or lunch. Captain, I will protect you to the death. Khalifa appears, the phantom beast Nine Tails form. Blessed by the power of shadow, she also learned domineering skills based on the 6 marine styles. The form of Nine Tails, which can change all things, competes with CP Zoo. They are simply naturally hostile. Khalifa, seeing their former teammates standing in front of them, everyone in Lu Qi's heart trembled. Just when Yi Zhou was about to pass them by, a tall figure came like a gust of wind. The person with the meatball fruit ability, Tyrant Bear. Oh, you need to do something about this. Yi Zhou's collection control immediately couldn't bear it anymore. The last encounter in the East China Sea did not trigger the mission, but now I can finally get my wish. Mr. Demon King, it has been a long time since we last saw each other. Tyrant Bear took a quick look and saw that his current transformation was only part of it. His tall frame also exudes an inner gentleness hidden beneath a fierce appearance. I was shocked when I learned you left Beehive Island. People all over the world are guessing where you are going. Great Mr. Demon King, who are you going to attack this time? The 6-meter 9-meter Tyrant Bear. Yi Zhou is over 7 meters tall. The two bodies look like they are evenly matched. However, it's just a look. Yes, I still remember the last time I saw you was the last time. So, is that guy Long here this time? Yi Zhou clenched his fist. He wanted to try the fusion of domineering energy and the demonic energy of the moon. Whether it can achieve the effect he wants to achieve. No, Mr. Demon King. If you insist on a fight, I can accompany you. This is the hope of future mankind, and no destruction is allowed. Quote. The Tyrant Shang gang wanted to take action. Bonnie and Betty appeared in front of him. Betty, Bonnie, are you okay? He said softly. Look, I knew it was my turn. His subordinates can easily deal with the enemy. Smoker, CP Zhu, 7 warlords of the sea. They are all native chickens and dogs. Quote, Yi Zhuogang wanted to walk past Tyrant Shang. Shang, who was reminiscing about old times, immediately stood in front of him. Even if I die here, I will still stop you. Holding the determination to die, this is the realization when facing Yi Zhou is a life. Who do you think this guy is? He is a big devil who is angry, lazy, and loves to drink. Known as the most evil pirate in contemporary times, the Demon King Yi Zhou is enough to usher in an era. The real villain is worshipped by countless pirates and makes countless nobles tremble in fear. Oh, unknowingly, I have been regarded as a villain by the world. Why am I so gentle and misunderstood by the world? Yi Zhou shook his head helplessly. Both of his fists became iron fists, and Liu Ying and Ba Tang merged. Combined with the powerful gravity of the moon's demonic energy. Push the pressure cannon. Bartholomew Big Bear slapped several palms in an instant. Air and hockey are condensed into pressure cannons. While attacking continuously, it transforms into the shape of a bear's paw. The powerful destructive power is enough to destroy everything in sight. However, Yi Zhou let these attacks hit him. He didn't even take a step back. On the contrary, as he continued to move forward, the attacking Bartholomew Bear was pushed further by his own attack. Your Excellency's physique is so terrifying. Bartholomew Bear felt incredible. He originally thought that Yi Zhou's strength was that of the 4 emperors, so he defeated him in the East China Sea. But now it seems that Yi Zhou's real strength is even greater than this. The terrifying ability of the meatball fruit can push its strength to the limit. Even Kaido, the beast of all beasts, was attacked by Bartholomew Bear while he was standing here. If you don't use your own defense and rely purely on physical strength, you will still get injured. Where is Yi Zhou? He was walking so forcefully. All the domineering energy is concentrated in his hands. He relied on his physical strength to withstand all attacks. The strongest one in the group fight must be Demon King Yi Zhou. So the world says. This group fight means that the devil beats everyone in a group. Bartholomew Bear had taken dozens of steps back during the attack. The floor beneath his feet was broken into pieces. The earth is cracked, as if telling his own frustration. It's about time I gave it a try. Boom. Buddha's palm. Yi Zhou was infused with the powerful gravity of the demonic energy of the moon with his domineering energy. A powerful palm burst out. He put his feet on the ground, luck in one hand, and forward in the other. Boom. Bartholomew Bear wanted to try to block the blow. But when the attack blasted past his ears, a deafening shock wave rumbled past. A tall fortress behind him collapsed in an instant. A huge palm print was engraved on the high-rise steel building behind him. Bartholomew Big Bear's always calm gaze slowly withdrew. What surprised him was not that this palm could destroy a high-rise steel building. He can also achieve the same destructive power with the meatball fruit. What's really scary is that Yi Zhou further developed the method of using domineering energy. The attack will continue to increase as soon as it leaves the palm. Neither the attack range nor the damage will be reduced due to distance. On the contrary, it will continue to increase. After being stimulated to the extreme, it suddenly explodes. The principle of meatball fruit. Bartholomew Big Bear couldn't believe that Yi Zhou had copied his fruit ability. Or is it really possible to develop such a move with domineering power? Countless tall buildings on the ground in the future kingdom were destroyed by this palm. At a glance, every time it passes a building, the attack area will further increase. Until the shock wave of Mahamudra reached the sea. Boom! A terrifying explosion sounded. As if inspired by some force, the sea was blasted open with a large crater comparable to the size of Dantu Island. The water will topple back again. But the steaming white air was telling of the hurt he had suffered. Being strong when you are strong is not my style. The palm of Tathagata is unparalleled in the world. Quote, Yi Zhou originally thought that he had learned normal martial arts to the extreme in his previous life. Now it seems, any moves that can be learned in theory can be reproduced. It's rumored that you defeated Garp with your physical skills. Defeated Mihawk again with swordsmanship. When I first heard about it, I just thought it was a bit ridiculous. Now it seems that this is the ultimate. I'm afraid Dragon Claw Fist, Murloc Karate, and Marine 6 styles are not as good as your Taijutsu faction. Quote, Bartholomew Big Bear understood that even if he died here, he would not be able to stop Yi Zhou. In the face of absolute power, his passion seems so small. I can also learn Jeet Kune Do you want to learn it? Kun Jin can continue to exert force after hitting the human body. Combined with Liu Ying and Ba Tang, it can also cause secondary damage. I lost. Mr. Demon King, please don't hurt Vegapunk. His technology is the hope of mankind. Quote, the tyrant bear suddenly fell to the ground. I saw that the clothes behind him were in pieces. There is a huge fingerprint. It turned out that Yi Zhou's palm only touched him a little bit with his fingertips. The continuously increasing damage made it completely lose its remaining strength. Captain, you killed my father. Bonnie looked puzzled. She had surrendered to become the chef of the Demon King pirates. How could her father still be beaten to death? Bear, hold on, our ship's Dr. Vivi will be here soon. Princess Vivi. The last time she saw her father was many years ago. The organs and bones in the bear's body were destroyed, not to mention the modified parts. If you can't die, just use your flesh ball fruit to pop it out. Yi Zhou was helpless, this bear was just trying to make trouble. It's overloaded, Mr. Demon King. The bear was helped turned around. I really want to turn you into a bear, but you are not a human either. Yi Zhou glanced at Bartholomew Big Bear's barriers and bare paws. Point it out. The horse charm immediately cured him. Healing and repair are the dual abilities of the horse talisman. Even broken sculptures can be repaired. The parts inside the bear were also reassembled. I'm not interested in the big head of Vegapunk. If you talk nonsense like this, you will be misunderstood. I thought my whole aesthetics had collapsed. Yi Zhou immediately kicked the bear. He broke his leg just after the injury was cured. The bear didn't complain, he accepted his fate. My daughter is in other people's hands. I can't say anything or beat her. What can I do? Ding. Special hidden mission completed. Clear 7 warlords of the sea in the old era. Tyrant Bear has not yet been officially defeated. Defeat him in the future kingdom. Task reward. Giant medicine powder, Xiaoyu version. The old 7 warlords of the sea have been collected. Unlock the hidden reward. Get 12 talisman animals. Reward tip. The 12 talisman animals are an additional reward. They do not conflict with the host's 12 talismans. They only obey the host's orders and can be converted into 12 talismans to carry. The 12 talismans are the Holy Master version, not the concept version. 12 talismans floated around Yi Zhou. He was surprised. Can you turn into an animal? Has the Holy Lord also become Pangu? I only have 2 copies of the 12 talismans. Quote, what was in Yi Zhou's body was the concept version of the 12 talismans, and now it was the Holy Lord version of the 12 talismans. To him, it's just one more toy. Saw, the wings of wind and thunder are wrapped in a coat of flame. But Yi Zhou didn't even have time to spread his wings. I saw a figure who would rather die than surrender. Demon King Yi Zhou. Want to break into the high-rise of Dantu Island. Just step over my corpse. Kaku appears in front of Yi Zhou, and he is about to go all out to use his animal body to block all damage from Yi Zhou. Oh, Yi Zhou has no nonsense. He changed at will. Each of the 12 charms turned into an animal. 1 second later, Yi Zhou stepped directly over Kaku's back. Kaku's mouth was still smoking after being brutalized by the charmed animal. Do you think Emir Khalifa can stop us? Bruno opened the air door with a bloody face. Rob Luki and others stepped out with a sly smile on their faces. When he saw the 12 animals in front of Yi Zhou, the hair on the back stood up. Their first guess was that these were strong men who had been brutally attacked by Yi Zhou. Do it, Khalifa. Yi Zhou just finished speaking. All we saw was an owl and 9 tails appeared. Khalifa lifted his glasses with one hand, smiled and gave Jabra a blow from behind. Jabra, who was in the form of a canine fruit wolf, immediately turned around in shock. What? Do you really think that my current strength can't solve a CP0? Khalifa flipped with one hand and jumped to Yi Zhou's side. Captain, my subordinates have eliminated 2 scum. Well done, keep up the good work. I have high expectations for you. The potential of the fantasy beast species is already great. Quote. Boom. Yi Zhou stepped forward, and Rob Luki wanted to move. But he found that he couldn't move at all. Don't move, you will die. The 12 talismans behind Yi Zhou turned into animals. They all stared at Rob Luki and others fiercely. Bite. Yi Zhou snapped his fingers. The void is just because I stand on the back of a pig with electric eyes. Invisible snakes coiled on the backs of cows, and rabbits stood overhead. Horses and sheep galloped out, and the mice had long disappeared. The tiger split into 2, and the monkey has long since become an elephant. Only the Holy Lord behind Yi Zhou stood there with blank eyes. In the world of the Holy Lord, the dragon talisman is the power of the Holy Lord. The dragon represented is also himself. But what I didn't expect was that the dragon talisman that turned into an animal would look like the Holy Lord. Standing motionless. Fight. This Holy Lord has no sense of autonomy at all, and like other animals, he will only obey Yi Zhou's orders. Boom. The dragon talisman sage opened his mouth and spit out a blast of flames in one breath. Rob Luki didn't expect that with his own strength, he would be intimidated by Yi Zhou's conqueror's domination. With his strength, even the 4 emperor's conqueror's haki shouldn't be able to suppress him. Lu Qi reacted just when he was about to take action. But he was hit head-on by the invisible accelerating cow. The next levitating pig has electric eyes. As soon as he stood still, 2 tigers bit him from the left and right. The monkey turned into an elephant and hit him from behind. Lu Qi resisted the impact of the elephant with one hand and knocked the tiger away with one punch. The horse instantly healed its tiger's wounds. The sheep jumped from the horse's back. As soon as he met Lu Qi, he fell to the ground with his eyes blank. Lu Qi. Bruno's eyes were dull. These 12 animals actually forcibly suppressed the leader of CP0, Rob Luki. He wiped away the nosebleed and quickly picked up Lu Qi. Little did they know that at this time, Rob Luki and the lion Nudie had already been touched by the sheep and their souls had left their bodies. Lu Qi's soul was floating in the air, and when he saw the body being taken away by Bruno, he was about to cry without tears. What is this guy doing? The lion snuggled up and shouted. He didn't understand what happened to him. The lamb's operation is not good, let me help you. Yi Zhou flicked his fingers. His concept-level sheep spell is even more powerful. It was easy to control the exchange of Robluki's soul with the lion. I'm not me anymore. How many kinds of fruit abilities does this guy have? It didn't matter that Rob Luki turned into a real leopard. He can use the devil fruit to stay in his orc form for long periods of time. Lu Qi, how did you become like me? Then who am I? The male lion cuddled up and screamed wildly. Although he was turned into a lion by Yi Zhou and then ate the cat fruit, he was in the lion form. Become a real lion, but what he likes most is the hair that can restore life. Now the magpie nest is occupied by Rob Luki. What the hell is going on? On the battleship in the port, Bruno's nosebleeds and mucus were mixed together. He is going crazy. Use haki. I heard that haki powerful enough can expel the effects of devil fruits. Lu Qi was just about to say this, but found that his body was already the soul of a lion. Boom. Lu Qi fell to the deck in despair. He fainted from anger. On Egghead Island, Bartholomew Big Bear, who had just bandaged his leg, stared at Yi Zhou helplessly. If I had known earlier, I shouldn't have stopped him. Seeing that the future kingdom is in a mess. And Yi Zhou's goal is not technology or research results at all, nor is it Vegapunk himself. He felt only a hint of regret. Return. As soon as Yi-Jo finished speaking, the 12 animals turned into talismans, floating and hovering behind him. If I had known today, why bother in the beginning? You people are so bad at heart. If I hadn't taken action, I'm afraid you would never be able to repent in your lifetime. Quote. Yi-Jo's Demon King posture swayed and put away his forearms and tail. The dragon horns and wings, as well as the 12 talismans behind it, still have a strange sense of oppression. Whoosh! He spread his wings and soared, turning into a shooting star in an instant. Am I the one who's wrong? Mr. Demon King, I thought it was this world that was wrong. Do you have an answer? Shang asked puzzledly. He looked up to the sky. If there really is someone as powerful as Yi-Jo in the world. So, can the GM army really create a better future? If it's your strength, the fault is yours. If it were my strength, it would be the world's fault. Quote. Yi-Jo was so fast that he disappeared into the sky in the blink of an eye. Bartholomew Bear stared at him, until I saw a point of light disappearing. Only then did he realize that the boy known as the Demon King had already turned into a ray of light before soaring into the sky. Sizzle. Go to the second floor to open the defensive array. The energy and electric shock converged on Yi-Jo. How could the thunder and lightning demonic energy be afraid of such strength? Yi-Jo immediately opened his mouth and swallowed it in one gulp. Not only does it add a little energy, under the urging of the mountain's demonic energy, his body size increased a little. Oh, is this the real Egghead Island? Ignoring the defense in front of him, Yi-Jo walked straight away. Along the way, there were still half-finished products and no pacifist obstruction. None of them could withstand a single blow. In front of the last door, there are even half-finished seraphs surrounding Yi-Jo. Boring. Genuine products are no match for Yi-Jo. What's more, these are half-finished products that have no real success. He snapped his fingers and used the Eye of Aurora to teleport to the core of the base. Vegapunk himself is protected in the center by 5 clones. Don't go any further, Demon King. I still want to invent. Edison number 3 said nervously. What nonsense are you talking about? I want him to look good now. The cute big-headed no. 5 Atlas punched immediately. Yi-Jo dodged away seemingly casually. Pythagoras number 4 advised. If you do this, you will destroy the hard work of countless people. These Vegapunk clones are trying their best to obstruct it. Only York on the 6th was sleeping, and she didn't care about all these disturbances. Demon King, if you take action against the future kingdom, you will be hunted to the ends of the earth by the world's government. Shakyamuni number 1 tried to persuade me, and he seemed to be the most righteous in his words. Do you want to fight? Then blow up the entire Egghead Island. Lilith number 2 has short hair and is particularly heroic. Only Vegapunk behind them remained silent. He was watching Yi-Jo carefully. Old man, don't you have anything to say? Yi-Jo allowed these 5 clones to attack, but he avoided them as if no one was around. Even standing in front of Vegapunk, the clones all found that their attacks were ineffective. Finally I got my wish. I heard Long mentioned you a long time ago. Mr. Demon King, you are as powerful as the rumors say. I heard that you saved many kingdoms, including the Dantata tribe, the Fur tribe, the Fishmen tribe, and many maritime forces. Defeated 4 emperors BIGMOM, making the red hair withdraw from the competition of the times. Even the killer family Germa 66 was brought back from the brink. He is truly the best person in the new world. Vegapunk stretched out his hand and grinned. Those who know me, Vegapunk will never die. 2 small hands grew out of Yi-Jo's armpits and shook hands symbolically. If I could get your bloodline factor, what a powerful force that would be. I'm afraid it's enough to create the most powerful seraph in the sea. Vegapunk's eyes were filled with anticipation. That's not necessary. Only a small part of my strength is related to the blood factor. The rest are the ones you can't replicate. Quote. Seeing that Yi-Jo had no idea of taking action, the clones finally calmed down and wiped the sweat from their foreheads. I only want to take away 2 people here. You know my family has a big business and always needs a few maintenance workers. This is how the Beehive Island can be kept running. Guess what? Number 2 Lilith and no. 6 York are lucky enough to be chosen. The frightened clones instantly felt as if they were facing a powerful enemy. Lilith took a few steps back in surprise. Yi-Jo's body structure is many times more oppressive than the photos in newspapers and reward orders. She's not a giant, and she's not a Shirahoshi. It would be unthinkable to join Yi-Jo's command. Lilith, who represents the evil of Vegapunk, looks weak and lovable at this moment. York was sleeping soundly without knowing anything. This girl looks a bit like the red-haired daughter Yuta. When it comes to Yuta, Yi-Jo wants to find another singer. After all, she has the dancing girl Momoshiki by her side, so she can enjoy singing and dancing. Mr. Demon King, I am a person with brain fruit ability. The suspended eggshell above this island is actually my brain. Both of them are also clones who share my wisdom, equivalent to my daughters. If you take them away, without knowledge sharing, their strength will be greatly reduced. Quote. Vegapunk smiled and took out a lightsaber and gave it to Yi-Jo. If you need such weapons or other things, there will be no problem. Hear his words. Yi-Jo frowned slightly. If you die one day, will the 6 of them become mentally retarded in an instant? That's not true. Even if I die one day, this knowledge and cloud brain will still exist. As soon as Vegapunk finished speaking, he realized that there was something wrong with what he said. Also take away Atlas number 5, which represents violence. I want to take away half of your cloud brain and half of your clone, which is your daughter. In this way, you can continue to operate and maintain high efficiency. Quote. Yi-Jo had already thought about it. The Beehive Island also needs an island air conditioner, as well as a food maker and the like. Vegapunk really didn't expect it to be like this. That's it, I'll cut off half of your brain myself. Yi-Jo drew out the supremely sharp knife and was already sharpening it. No need to trouble you, I will do it myself. I just want to know what the devil is going to use these technologies for. Destroy the world, or create a pirate group that rules the world. Vegapunk will never allow that to exist. Sold to 9 Snake Island, Alabasta, Fishman Island, Dressrosa, and Zo Kingdom. And my Beehive Island, all these good things must be mass-produced. Of course, that Yorkie can be lazy, but she won't solve the trouble for you. By the way, she wanted to help me look after the warehouse. I need to find a winemaker in the future, so she can help me look after the wine warehouse. Quote. Hearing Yi-Jo's words, Shikia number 1 felt a little confused. Vegapunk was even more excited. Mass production. Not only him, but the 2 clones of Edison number 3 and Pythagoras number 4 were also excited to hear that mass production was possible. It's a pity that the world's governments don't give them extra funds at all. Only weapons are given to Bailey and support. Nonsense, why don't we show it to you? The amount of Baileys and gold required for mass production will be countless. Vegapunk said in surprise that he didn't want the world to have these life-changing technologies. I'm not short of Baileys. I have to spend hundreds of millions of Baileys every day, otherwise my family will be prosperous. Shipping, Golden City, water park, newspaper. I can't spend all the money I make, and if I die, I'll have to bury tens of thousands of tons of gold in my body. Quote. Yi-Jo was very upset. There's nothing he can do, he has so many golden Baileys that he can't even count them. Okay, very good, from now on it will be divided into 2. Please ask Mr. Demon King to help me promote it to the world. Externally we will say that we have been oppressed by you. And it is inhumane and cruel. I will never let the reputation of the Demon King suffer any loss. Quote. Vegapunk's name for Yi-Jo changed quietly. That's good, I don't like to hear nice things. Yi-Jo nodded. Talk to Shikia number 1, Edison number 3, and Pythagoras number 4 like a moving company. A little of everything, don't be stingy. Ah, don't cry Atlas, you big-headed baby won't suffer when you get to your brother's place. We fight a lot, could your bad temper be cured? Lilith, go and carry York on your back, we will move later. Quote. Yi-Jo emptied half of the future kingdom as he spoke. The teacher returns to the court. Demon King Drive. Vegapunk and the remaining 3 clones supported the big bear with an injured leg. He even waved to see off the guests, looking forward to Yi-Jo's next visit. Lord Demon King, Vegapunk won't be angry if we do this, right? Shirahoshi steered the ship forcefully. How could it be? Look, he still has to thank me. Yi-Jo stood at the stern of the boat and waved. In the sky is half of Egghead Island where he used the chicken talisman to suspend the demonic energy of the moon. Ding. The main mission has been completed. Go to the future kingdom, invite Vegapunk number 2 Lilith and no. 6 York to take them away and become crew members. Task reward. Copying medicinal powder, Xiaoyu version. Yi Zhou got another jar of medicinal powder. He stretched calmly. The sea breeze is very noisy today. There was no one looking for death to block the way. The main chain mission has been started. Demon King's Meeting Part 1. Send out the Demon King's message, invite the Emperor of the Sea, his fleet, his king, the Dark Emperor, the 5 Marine Generals, Dragon, Fleet Admiral, Garp, 7 Warlords of the Sea. Special invitation list. Red-haired pirates, Mihawk, Sand Crocodile, Moria, Buggy the Clown. Task reward. Fragments of Time History Book 1/8. Appeared. The History Book of the Years. Why is it the fragmented version? What can destroy the history books of time? Is it a system? Yi Zhou was stunned for a moment, and finally a little light flickered in his boring eyes. Chain tasks have become more interesting. The treasure ship Demon King encountered no obstacles along the way. Returning to Beehive Island with confidence, when I saw a large amount of gold in the vault, Bailey. Atlas on the 5th was so happy that he couldn't open his mouth from ear to ear. From now on, you will be responsible for guarding the basic safety of the Honeycomb Island warehouse. Yi Zhou said something and woke up No. 6 York, who was still sleeping soundly with one finger. You will be responsible for guarding these warehouses from now on. Okay. York rubbed his eyes, turned over and continued to sleep. Lilith, you will be responsible for promoting these technological products in the kingdom under my command, and at the same time, you will be responsible for the maintenance of the Beehive Island. Understood. Let me, the mechanical sea beast, and the Poseidon class work together to protect this sea area. Lilith couldn't wait any longer. Half of the cloud brain was assembled on the huge skull of Beehive Island. A large number of scientific instruments and defense equipment are being installed. Finished the last post, Yi Zhou returned to the hall with satisfaction. He called Khalifa, Nami and others to start giving instructions on the next list of people to be invited. Nani, invite those monsters to the party. As soon as Khalifa heard this, she couldn't believe how much trouble there would be. Those are all emperors of the sea. It will probably cost hundreds of millions of belliries. Nami quickly settled the account. It doesn't matter what the cost is, as long as the captain is willing. The Empress picked a crystal-clear grape. Yi Zhou took a bite of grapes and nodded with satisfaction. It doesn't matter whether they come or not. Anyway, the task is to send out invitations to the Demon King, but I didn't say that people must come. Will it be lively? Wouldn't this bring together all the big names in the sea? Robin said as he closed the book. Maybe we can show them Zephyr and Smoker in the cage. Yi Zhou yawned. He was happy to think that Smoker was reunited with Zephyr. Doing good deeds has always been Yi Zhou's life purpose. Soon, Khalifa contact Morgans. Nami, Robin is responsible for contacting the large fleet. Shirahoshi, Vivi, Perona, Bonnie, Rebecca and others started to invite the king under Demon King Yi Zhou in disbelief. Morgans was asked when his newspaper bird went to deliver letters to the rest of the big shots. I almost lost my temper. You are truly worthy of being a Demon King. You don't do anything humanly at all. Lord Demon King, regarding these invitations. If they don't want to come, do I need to ask for it? Newsbird Morgans wiped sweat from his brow. He was a little nervous. These big shots wouldn't pay attention to him even if he went to invite them in person. Back then, Bigmom's tea party was said to be that anyone who didn't come would die. In fact, she only invited her subordinate forces and Dark Emperors. The other 4 emperors, even Marine, 7 warlords of the sea, GM army. As long as Bigmom is not tired of living, there is a high probability that he will not seek death like this. This is equivalent to letting a group of lunatics come and smash the house. Think too much. Whether they want to come or not, you just send the message. Yi Zhou felt a little sleepy. This trip had wasted a lot of energy on him, so it was time to take a good rest. Lying on the lap pillow, you can smell the faint aroma in the air. Red Continent, Holy Land Marie Joya. Sweat broke down the 5 elders' backs. Vegapunk himself wasn't snatched away, was he? No, Only 3 of his subordinates were snatched away. "Nu, hang up the phone, Bug." The 5 elders looked at each other with a mixture of sadness and joy. "I'm happy that Vegapunk has been saved, and I can wait until I'm done using it before unloading it. The sad thing is that there were heavy losses, and there were many scientific and technological achievements. CP0's Rob Lukey went crazy just after he was promoted for meritorious service. Is it said that the soul has been exchanged? That's outrageous. There's no shame in losing to the devil. It's your fault for talking nonsense. Would you like to ask your lord for permission?" Baldhead spoke. He was very sad. The thought of his knife being in Yi Zhou's hands for no apparent reason made him heartbroken. His ambitions are obvious and must be eradicated. The curly-haired old man tapped his cane. This should be the limit. Now all he has left is to go to war. The bearded 5 elders said calmly. "That's right, the decisive battle is coming soon. He can't come up with any other tricks. Get ready for the battle." "That's right." The 5 elders looked at each other. In their opinion, Yi Zhou had really exhausted his talents and there was only one decisive battle left. The rocks tried to do the same thing back then, but it was completely destroyed. However, Demon King Yi Zhou's ruthless life never ends. He won't bite the lighter easily. The next day, East China Sea. A small island. The domineering Buggy is developing his Buggy bomb that can destroy an island. A pirate ship with a dragon head has approached the coast. The crew stumbled as they walked. Captain, it's not good. That legendary existence, the red hair is here." "What?" Next to him, the deputy captain, animal trainer Moki, and the chief of staff were all stunned. "Why is the redhead here?" The 2 people who were waiting to die were so frightened that they even dropped the wine bottle to the ground. "Nani?" Buggy stood up instantly without any panic. Only anger. "What is this red-haired guy doing here right now? Is he trying to stop his scientific research?" "Buggy, long time no see." Shank's voice came, and all the crew members swallowed in fear. Only Buggy grabbed him by the collar. "Shanks, why do you have this guy's arm again? Lousy also wants to beat up the boy who took away your straw hat. Don't let me know who he is, otherwise I won't get any good results from him." Buggy spoke very arrogantly, but out of the corner of his eye, he caught sight of the red-haired person next to him in Mahawk. "I was so scared that I was sweating profusely." Buggy's heart was screaming. Did they join forces after quitting New World? "You're welcome, I'm here to invite you to go to sea," Shanks said with a smile. "Dream, why do I want to be your little brother?" Buggy was about to continue shouting. After all, in this world, the red-haired person can be said to be the most deserving of his willfulness. A letter. The newspaper bird delivered a newspaper, a stack of reward orders, and a letter. Everyone stopped at this moment. The air is exceptionally quiet. Chapter 71. Invitation Post. The newspaper bird turned around and gave Hawkeye another letter. Demon King Yi Zhou made a fuss in the future kingdom and stole a large number of Vegapunk's scientific and technological achievements. Buggy touched his chin. This guy is so attention-grabbing. He's been very popular recently. Even Captain Ben's crew is talking about him. Quote. Buggy felt very sad that his limelight had been taken away by Yi Zhou. The crew members under his command were frightened to death. Who would have thought that Buggy could be so arrogant in front of the former 4 emperors' red-haired Shanks? Moreover, it was the red hair who personally came to invite him on board. Devil King's Post. Hawkeye is still reminiscing about Tai Chi swordsmanship recently. Whenever I think of Yi Zhou, it's because of his unparalleled swordsmanship. Are you going to the party? The redhead smiled and turned to look at Buggy. Go to New World. Buggy, let's go to the banquet together. Nani, stop making decisions for me, Shanks. Just when Buggy was about to refuse, his crew members looked at him with admiration. I never knew that the captain who bullied the weak would be so criticized. Ahem. Seeing this scene, Buggy suddenly blushed. He took a look and cleared his throat and said, Lousy doesn't have an invitation letter. Do you think the Demon King is going to give it to you because of his dignity? Wait until you say this sentence. Buggy's heart beat like a drum. He thought in his heart, don't let that murderous maniac hear it. Buggy opening parenthesis D. Whoosh. The newspaper bird made a big circle and came back to deliver the third letter. Inside is actually Buggy's devil post. This scene made Mochi and Kabaji widen their eyes. They originally thought Buggy was crazy, but this letter made them doubt themselves. Could it be that all the previous Buggies were just fake? Play pig eat tiger. Otherwise, how can we explain that even the Demon King's post is his own? Did that guy actually remember my captain's name? Buggy said arrogantly. His heart was bleeding continuously, and he squeezed out a dark smile. In my heart, I was roaring crazily. Why did I find out? Am I going to die? Will I be killed by the devil? Oh, Eagle Eye Mihawk couldn't help but his pupils changed when he saw this scene. He was still doubtful when he heard that the red-haired Shanks was coming to the East China Sea to find a partner. I can't believe that there can be any big shot in the mere East China Sea. I didn't expect this little-known red nose. He was actually recognized by Demon King Yizhou and sent a Demon King message. Immediately I felt a little high. Captain, Demon King Yizhou is the #1 murderer in the New World. Yes, Captain, let's break up. The Vice Captain and Chief of Staff gave their optimal solutions. Asshole. Buggy put his hands on his hips, flew in midair, and said domineeringly. What a devil, what's so scary? Lousy wants to go to New World for an appointment and let him see what Uncle Buggy is. Kids, let's go to the New World. Buggy was even feeling dizzy at the moment. He has no idea how he went crazy. Very courageous. Ben Beckman gives his review of Buggy. The Grand Line. A small island. As soon as Luo stepped out of the submarine, he met Captain Kidd, who was here. The current Marine headquarters is busy preparing to eliminate Yizhou, and has no time to deal with them. In addition, Monk Ergi, Becky, Hawkins, Apu and others from the Flame Tank Pirates also arrived at the same time. They were all inspired by the series of legends Yizhou left behind when he traveled to the world to find his companions. Feeling the overwhelming feeling in my heart, I went to sea early. Not just the supernova of their most evil era. Even Cavendish, the pirate prince, who was supposed to be 2 years ahead of them. The cannibal Bartimeo, who went to sea a year later, also set foot on the Sabayati Islands at the same time. It's incredible. This island should now be filled with monsters with a bounty of over 100 million. There are only 3 emperors left in the New World, and this is the best time to compete for hegemony. Quote. Luo picked up the newspaper. Yizhou said with great anticipation after seeing Yizhou snatching half of the future kingdom. Senior Demon King. That's so awesome. Bartimeo has been out to sea since he saw Yizhou's majestic figure in Rog Town. When he is expressing his love. Kid, Kira and others were walking towards him, but they glanced at him. Hey, there is no absolute strength. But I am not qualified to mention the name of the Demon King. I am the man who will become the new Demon King. Magnetism and barrier fruit go to war. Becky in the corner calmly blew out a smoke ring. You are worthy of being the one who made the Vinsmoke family surrender. Now the pattern of New World will be even more chaotic. An unprecedented war will soon break out. Quote, in a restaurant. The girls are watching today's guest being nymphomaniacal. Cavendish was extremely angry when he was surrounded. Why he always attracts attention. What's so great about the Emperor of the Sea? Cavendish was so angry that he almost activated his second personality. What they don't know is. Also in the Grand Line. But many people are happy. Alabasta, Cobra is ready. Your Majesty the King, you really want to see Princess Vivi, and you want us to go with you. The ministers and guard chiefs said anxiously. Of course, long time no see Vivi, her bounty is almost 300 million belly. Cobra was moved to tears, and he was so happy to receive the Demon King's message. And I also learned something this morning. The technology obtained from the future kingdom on Hive Island will also be produced in Alabasta. According to Vivi, that is technology that can change the ecology and living environment. This made Cobra even happier. Alabasta is also richer and safer than ever. There is the protection of Demon King Yizhou, a water park, and a lot of fresh water. The Black Shadow Corps is in all the kingdoms under Yizhou's command. 9 Snake Island, Lily Kingdom. Sisters Boya Sandasonia and Boya Marigold hugged each other and cried. They could finally go and see the Empress. Will sister miss us? Of course, bring more gifts. As soon as they went out, there was a shadow ninja holding a cup of tea. 9 Snake Island is already powerful, and with the addition of the Black Shadow Ninja as a sparring partner, its strength has greatly increased. The thought of being able to go visit the Empress openly and honestly. The subjects couldn't help but feel happy. How is your Majesty the Empress doing? I read in the newspaper that the Demon King and others went to fight again. I really hope there won't be any danger. In their view, Empress Hancock protects everyone and is naturally the gentlest queen. In the eyes of outsiders, the powerful and terrifying Empress is also the greatest Empress in their hearts. New World, Fishman Island. King Neptune and Sea Knight Jinbei each received a Demon King's note. Jinbei, we are going to see Shirahoshi. It's been a long time since we said goodbye to each other last time. Jinbei recalled that Shirahoshi at that time was really extremely powerful, punching one person at a time. Will my sister get tanned? The princes danced happily. Since the Fishman Island was brought to land by Yi Zhou, it has also been integrated with Noah's Ark and Thunder God Island. They all fell in love with basking in the sun, and when they smiled at night, only their teeth were still shining. Dressrosa. King Liku is studying with Cyrus how to accept new technology. The Devil's Note has been delivered to my hand. Or Rebecca and Violet okay? Don't they always call home? Really, it's still not as good as seeing the real person. King Riku looks much younger now. The king of the Dongtata clan and Leo were both shocked. If it weren't for Yi Zhou, they wouldn't be living peacefully like this. I really want to see what the Demon King himself looks like. Princess Mangxili of the Dongtata tribe has a clear and sweet voice. Same with New World, the port outside Whitebeard's hometown. Huge ships dock here. Dad, is this a declaration of war? Does the Demon King want to completely dominate the New World? Diamond Josie said nervously. I heard that Teach took refuge with the Demon King after he left. Foil Beasta said with a smile. To this day, they still don't understand why Teach left. Dad, just let us go for you. You are too injured to run around like this. Phoenix Marco is a little worried about his physical condition. The white beard on the deck picked up the wine and drank it in one gulp. Goo la 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 la. Is that guy making a big move again? A new era that we have never seen before. Whitebeard Newgate laughed and glanced at the sky. He seemed to be spitting out a magnificent past. Why not go? Let me take this ship from the old era. Go and see the strong men of the new era. Nani. All the captains stood up. They didn't expect Whitebeard to agree to go. For the Maritime Emperor, this was a sign of self-degradation, and war could easily break out. Now no one knows Yi Zhou's true purpose of sending out the Demon King's message. Some are happy and some are sad. The country of peace. Ghost Island. Kaido is laughing. Oh. I never thought that this day would come to an old woman like you. Not only did they lose their territory, but the pirate group also became lousies. Quote. Kaido helplessly touched the head of Bigmom in front of him. The latter was bleeding. Abba. After Charlotte Linlin was punched into the sea by Yi Zhou. After being caught by Katakuri and others, he did not die. Every time Bigmom falls into the sea, his fate seems to be particularly tough. It's just that he has been completely stupid since then, not that he has returned to his childhood thinking. Her appearance and figure have also returned to the peak of her 20s after being violently beaten by Yi Zhou. The price is to become a complete fool. Apart from eating and sleeping, Kaido was the only one who could chat with her. Mother. Katakuri turned his head helplessly. Who would have thought that the once all-powerful Bigmom could be beaten like this with just one punch? Kaido of all beasts is sitting on a huge chair. At a glance, the forces under his command are so powerful. 3 general stars have been added to the 3 disasters, and the increase is 6 major disasters. Fei Wubao also officially became Fei Lubao, as well as some ministers from all countries. Of course, the newly added Fei Lubao cannot be the same Drake who has been missing for several years. But it was Teach, the black-bearded man, sitting in the corner feasting. He led the Blackbeard pirates to join Kaido the Beast. Today I finally got my wish. This devil fruit is for you, Teach. Thank you, Governor Kaido. Blackbeard Teach smiled and took the devil fruit he dreamed of. After joining the Beast Pirates, he still hides his strength. The purpose is to become a Fei Lubao, a position that is neither high nor low. And use Kaido to help him find the dark fruit. Eat the dark fruit in one bite. Teach's expression gradually darkened. The Whitebeard pirates completely declined, so he took refuge with Yi-Jo. Yi-Jo didn't want him and took refuge in Kaido, who was in full swing. He also obtained the dark fruit through his own calculations and dormancy. Brother Kaido. Jin came from outside the hall and delivered a letter to Kaido. Confused, Kaido took the envelope and opened it immediately. Let Lousy go to his banquet. How presumptuous, who does he think he is? Lousy is Kaido of all beasts. Kaido believes that his current strength is enough to destroy the world. He even thinks this lineup is enough to destroy Whitebeard. I originally wanted to send troops to destroy the Whitebeard pirates first, and then attack the demon King Yi-Jo of Beehive Island. I wanted to smash his head in. If he goes now, the world will think that Lousy is afraid of him. If you don't go, Jin, tell that guy that the beast pirates refuse the invitation. Declaring war on the demon king pirates, I will blow his head off one day. Kaido destroyed the demon king post with a blast of dragon breath. Turn into a green dragon and hover in the sky. It seems that Kaido's drinking is very bad, and he started to fight after getting drunk. Bigmom was crying and grabbed Kaido's dragon horns with both hands. Abba abba abba, hearing her voice and the saliva hitting her head. Kaido couldn't help but feel sad. Linlin, my Linlin. How did you become like this? Oh, this terrible world, destroy it. More than a dozen pirate ships occupy an island rich in ores in the New World. It's here. Moonlight Moria is discussing business with Sand Crocodile and his subordinates. They were thankful they had just bought custom cyborg armor from the Dark World. If it were shipped later, it might be snatched away by Yi-Jo. Because this is Dark World via CP0. They then manipulated the future kingdom from behind. Just like the world government does the seafloor stone business through CP0 and the Kurozumi snake of Wano. The two decent-looking people received an invitation at the same time. My mood was mixed at the moment. This guy still dares to invite me. I really want to take his head. Sand Crocodile's cigars fell to the ground. Is Perona okay now? I want to see her. No matter how dangerous it is, I have to go. Mariah was very moved. He didn't expect Perona to join the Demon King Pirates. Yi-Jo also allowed Perona to use her phone bug to contact him. That's right, after all, Moria can be regarded as Perona's father in a sense. At this moment, there are several suspended boulder islands crossing the Grand Line. Shiki, the golden lion with disheveled hair, took the newspaper in surprise. Why does this guy know that I am hiding here? The golden lion blew out a smoke ring. He also often reads the newspaper, reading about the ups and downs of 4 emperors. So what about the devil? Wasn't he also angry with Roger back then? One man challenged the country alone, and Garp destroyed half of Marineland. Captain, could it be because we often buy newspapers? Indigo, the ship's doctor, made a strange balloon sound when he moved. Gia ha 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 ha, what you said makes sense. The golden lion patted his head and saw Scaredo, the orangutan next to him. Mom, why are you here? Captain, he is the rare beast Scaredo. Swoosh, she looks exactly like my mother. Marine headquarters. Malinvando, Warring States was overwhelmed after seeing a lot of invitation letters. A pirate invites all the powerful Marines to a banquet. Have you lost your mind and gone crazy? We still lost hundreds of millions and thought we had nothing to blame. Marine Headquarters, Fleet Admiral Office. Today's Marine is extremely wealthy. In order to destroy Yi-Jo, a world conscription was specially held. The 5 generals gathered together, Garp, and Warring States were all extremely cautious and on standby. I thought Yi-Jo had restrained himself a lot. After all, even the 4 emperors only dominated the New World after occupying one island after another. They always want to have their own place, but they don't have the crazy heart to really destroy the world. After all, the last rocks to do this had been inactive for more than 30 years. However, just yesterday, Yi-Jo broke into the future kingdom. Steal away the countless scientific and technological achievements that the world's government spent huge sums of money to develop for Vegapunk. Did you send them a Demon King message today? What do you think about this matter? Sengoku was so angry that he had a headache. Marines and pirates have been at odds since ancient times. How dare this Yi-Jo send so many invitations to their headquarters? Opened the letter and read it. He said calmly that she was already used to Yi-Jo's various outrageous operations. It's really normal and can no longer be normal. It would be really scary if one day Yi-Jo suddenly had an epiphany and became independent from the world. Garp. Sengoku looked at Garp, who was thinking about his boxing skills. Chuan Wu. Kung Fu. Garp didn't listen to Sengoku's words at all and kept practicing boxing on his own. Now, information is circulating in the ears of the strong men in the sea. That is, Yi-Jo has his own unique physical skills and sword skills. If you get it, you can dominate the world. It is said that the most terrifying thing is that even Conqueror's Haki cannot be cultivated. Yi-Jo has ways to enhance its power. Hey, Sengoku, who was about to cry without tears, turned to look at the general in front of him. I'm going to kill him with my own hands. Akainu clenched his little paws, wishing to disembowel Yi-Jo. Let him go and contact me when the war starts. Kizaru was really tired. The last time he went to chase Kid, he didn't expect to meet Yi-Jo and was punished. The whole person personally understood the legendary conqueror's supreme secret. Now everyone is more calm. Huang Yuan, who originally clocked into work every day, worked conscientiously for a while after meeting Yi-Jo. But with each blow, he completely understood that the two of them were not on the same level at all. Why bother? If you can't beat it, then join. Is there going to be a war? Aokiji was still in a Tai Chi stance. After the battle at Twin Capes, he completely realized that if he wanted to defeat Kung Fu, he had to learn Kung Fu. See this scene. The new Green Bull, Fujitora, has no concept yet. Can a mere demon king compete with our two generals after joining forces? Green Bull pointed confidently, and a tree immediately grew on the ground. My dense fruits can live forever. Can he kill an entire island? Even if I dig 3 feet into the ground, I can still leave seeds. Fujitora holds a long sword in his hand, and everyone knows about Yi-Jo's bad reputation. Nothing needs to be said about this matter. The devil's ambition is clearly revealed. We might as well openly declare war. Quote, warring states said helplessly. Fight. What to fight with? Intelligence says that the Demon King has invited Whitebeard, Kaido and Red Hair. We don't know yet who will be attending the party. If the pirates join forces again, they will form the Rocks Pirates that shook the world just like they did back then. The day when these madmen will make a comeback is no longer far away. Quote, when I think of the era of rocks, the suppression of the sea by pirates makes people shudder. In that era when steel frames were nothing more than Marine Fleet Admiral. During the Warring States period, Garp and Zephyr were still in a period where the strong were in decline. If it weren't for that miraculous battle, if rocks had not died, what would the scene be like today? Red Continent, Mariajoya. The 5 elders looked at each other, they really didn't expect it. Seek benevolence and gain benevolence. Yi-Jo really did a big job. Is he crazy? Chong Huzi felt that Yi-Jo's thinking was not normal at all. The pattern of the sea is intricate. Except rocks use the pirate game to summon a group of monsters. No one has ever been able to unite these monsters with Conqueror's Haki. His invitation was definitely not attended to. Quote, the bald man said with disdain. It's hard to tell. He even dared to give an invitation to the red-haired Hawkeye who just defeated him. This is enough to prove that when he gained great strength, his brain was broken. The bald warrior in white was indignant. His knife. My heart aches when I hear Yi-Jo's name. My lord is about to take action. But how many people this banquet can attract is also very important. That gentleman wants to destroy it in one fell swoop. Curly hair 5 elders said happily. He wished that scum like Yi-Jo would be wiped out as soon as possible. Don't presume to guess what that adult is thinking. The short-bearded 5 elders glanced at the audience. Yi-Jo is already a being that countless people hate with itch. A small island. Whitebeard too was hacking like crazy. Mom, what are you talking about here? Why don't you speak? Wabel, that ignorant boy gave you a banquet invitation. Shouted the shrill voice of the old woman on his shoulder. Parties, Mom, I love parties. Whitebeard too smirked. Future Kingdom. High-rise base, under the cloud brain. The bear is communicating with the dragon using a telephone bug. Long, it seems that something uncontrollable has happened. Demon King Yi Zhou invited me to attend his banquet. What do you think about this matter? The voice on the phone was silent for a moment. Shang, actually I was invited too. Long's voice sounded helpless. Even he didn't expect that Demon King Yi Zhou would dare to hold a banquet in public. It doesn't matter whether the four emperors have any personal connections with dragons. It would be a different matter if the invitation was made public. What on earth was he thinking? What are the consequences if you refuse? Demon King Yi Zhou is moody. He is indeed kind to people when he is good, and the kingdoms and forces under his command are quite wealthy and powerful. This time the meeting of demon kings will be known as soon as you hear the name. It was to compete with the World Conference of the Celestial Dragons. Once you go there, it means starting an endless war. Yi Zhou is equivalent to tearing off his last face and starting a war with the Tianlong people. All the time. This is what Long does. He doesn't care at all about starting a war with the Celestial Dragons. But the current GM army is still developing and has not yet reached the point where it can truly reverse everything. Do you really want to take a gamble? See if Yi Zhou can fight against the world. After thinking about it, Long said firmly, "Bear, I will go there myself and tell the world. Yi Zhou deserves to be an ally. Even though he calls himself a pirate, he is an extremely pure companion. Dragon only believes in what a person does. Understood, I will superficially follow warring states' arrangements. Bear has a special status, so he still chooses to wait and see for the time being." Beehive Island. One after another, the Demon King's notes were sent out. Yi Zhou had just woken up at home. He took a health bath in medicinal wine. When all the invitees are concerned about whether to attend the appointment or not, Yi Zhou was not worried at all. Anyway, the mission only asked him to invite him, but he didn't say he had to come. Whether love comes or not, the task can still be completed. Ding, ding, the main chain mission has been completed. Demon King's Meeting Part 1. Send out the Demon King's message, invite the Emperor of the Sea, his fleet, his king, the Dark Emperor, the 5 generals of the Marine, Dragon, Fleet Admiral, Garp, 7 warlords of the sea. Special invitation list. Red-haired pirates, Mahawk, Sand Crocodile, Moria, Buggy the Clown. Task reward. Fragments of Time History Book 1/8. Yi Zhou was very confused when he got a few scraps of paper but no pen and no book cover. He remembered that as long as there was a left corner and a few words written on it, it could be used. I didn't expect that this fragment could not be used. Is this done? Will it come then? The main chain mission has been started. Demon King's Meeting Part 2. It is publicly announced that participation in the banquet requires contribution money and gifts. Task reward. Fragments of Time History Book 2/8. This. Yi Zhou originally thought he would be asked to beat someone. I didn't expect it to be so easy. If it doesn't matter what the other person is like. A task that can be accomplished with just a word. I had a bite of red wine grilled steak. The phone bug has connected the Morgans. Big boss. Any other instructions? The little one is preparing to go to your banquet. Quote. 5 minutes later, Morgans felt like his heart was in his throat. Crazy. He truly is the great devil of the new world. It's not certain whether those monsters will come or not. Yi Zhou actually asked him to tell everyone in the newspaper that they must pay their share of the money. I understand, little one. Big boss. Then won't the matter about the Demon King's conference also be made public? Morgans asked carefully. It doesn't matter if others dare to coerce him into writing some miscellaneous things. Just take a hot air balloon flight. It doesn't matter if you actually do it. To be able to become the Dark Emperor in New World, you need to have 2 brushes. But Yi Zhou is different. His shadow army follows him everywhere. If not, tell the world. The Demon King's conference requires membership fees and gifts. Yi Zhou's words made Morgans overjoyed. He doesn't need to take care of it anyway. Once the Demon King's meeting is exposed, it will bring a lot of heat. I understand, little one. Call ended. Just as Morgans was about to say something, all his subordinates stood in front of him. President, Long Renren called Zongzong and said that he wanted to participate in a high-profile event. Marine asked us to expose the Demon King's meeting and publicly refused. No, Kaido asked you to tell the Demon King that he wants to declare war. Hear these words. News Network Morgans was grinning from ear to ear. Publish them all, What are you afraid of? Do you think I'm afraid of offending the 4 emperors? Lousy is the king of news. Except for the great demon king. They are all just notorious pirates. As soon as Morgans finished shouting, he started to look around. After confirming that no dark ninja was eavesdropping, his heart returned to normal. Afraid? How can you not be afraid? Only the crew and forces under Yi-Jo will feel that the Demon King is their savior. For dark emperors such as Morgans, Tesoro, the Demon King is the true overlord who dominated the world after the fall of Bigmom. It was a knife hanging above their heads. A complete lunatic. Just like the Sabayati Islands where supernovae gathered at this time. Some people regard the Demon King as a new target, while others regard him as his biggest enemy. Demon King Yi-Jo is the big boss who rules over the sea. The next day, the sea, which was once a hot mess due to the Future Kingdom incident, has become much calmer. It wasn't until they saw the latest newspapers that they realized things were far from simple. Meeting of Demon Kings. Yi-Jo summoned all the prominent and powerful people from the 3 major camps, Marine, Pirates, and GM Army. Just to hold a meeting of Demon Kings. Seeing the list above, everyone took a breath. If they all really went away, wouldn't it mean that Demon King Yi-Jo would rule the world? What a crazy guy. The most frightening thing is that this kind of ambition is obvious. Until they saw the most eye-catching headline in the newspaper. Demon King Yi-Jo. Those attending the banquet need to bring their share of the money and gifts. Tip from the devil. Don't refuse to come because you are stingy. Audience. Concentric circles, deconcentric circles. This caused all the strong men from all sides who had refused to go to vomit blood. They wanted to go and kill Yi-Jo. It seems that I didn't go because I couldn't bear to part with the money and gifts. Wano country, Onigashima. Kaido tore the newspaper into pieces on the spot. Do you have to pay a share of the money? Who does he think I am? Lousy is Kaido of all beasts. Kaido is going crazy. He felt that Bigmom, who had become a complete fool now, was much more normal than Yi-Jo. Brother Kaido, we are already preparing our troops. Are we ready to go to war with the Demon King? Jin was also furious. Whoever dares to hit Kaido in the face will have his neck wiped clean. Not only must we start a war, but we must also let the whole world know about it. Kaido was so angry that he picked up the phone. Bug. Contact that news bird. Black Mary held up the phone. Bug. Kaido sat on the chair, so angry that his whole body twitched. Tell me, Yi-Jo. 3 days later, I want his head to fall off. We, the Beast Pirates, will fight to the death with the Demon King Pirates. Gulu gulu gulu. The phone. Bug hangs up. Morgans was stunned. The previous declaration of war was normal. For pirates, it's either you die or I live. However, making a 3-day appointment directly means that there will be a real decisive battle. Between the 2 pirate groups of the Emperor of the Sea, who is the better one? He thought for a while and quickly contacted Yi-Jo. Yi-Jo, who was on the other end of the phone, was dancing in discotheque number 1 on Beehive Island very calmly. Really? So arrogant. I'll fight you in 3 days. Tell the whole world that Lousy will destroy his zoo of beasts. A group of animals are not in the zoo, they have to be scary outside. If I catch him, I won't get any good results from him. I understand, little one. New newspapers quickly began printing. Morgans feels great now. Ever since Yi-Jo was on the list, the newspapers have been like a TV series every day. It is said that there are some people who read newspapers. I even read it like a novel. He completely regarded Yi-Jo as a serialized novel in a newspaper. If it weren't for the Demon King's bounty orders, which would increase dramatically day by day. I can't believe this is real. My body is really good. I'm either declaring war on this or competing on that all day long. Ding. A familiar system beep sounded. Yi-Jo walked out of disco number 1. He walked from the alley to the cage on Beehive Island very comfortably. This place is naturally not as vast as Impel Down City, but there are still a few guys imprisoned here. Black Arm Zephyr, Smoker. Bang. As soon as the wine bottle fell, the system panel was fully displayed. The main chain task has been completed. Demon King's Meeting Part 2. It is publicly announced that participation in the banquet requires payment of membership fees and gifts. Task reward. Fragments of Time History Book 2/8. You two are welcome and safe. Do you want to attend the meeting of the Demon King? Devil King, you have gone crazy. This is equivalent to declaring war on the whole world. Zephyr sneered. In his opinion, Yi Zhou was in trouble. It doesn't matter, I will take action. Do you know how many people are sharpening their knives now? Zephyr just wanted to say something sarcastic. Yi Zhou threw a bottle of wine to him. The bright moonlight was as flawless as jade, and the wine reflected on the ground, giving off a faint light. This wine is very nice, it tastes soft and mellow. It's the one Zephyr loves the most. What are you afraid of? Which one of the strong men on the sea doesn't want me to die? Yi Zhou touched his wine bottle with great self-knowledge. Smoker beside him huffed and said nothing, only blowing out smoke rings one after another. Smoker, don't you want a drink? I'm not interested. Drinking after smoking will be very painful. Smoker was about to say something, but Yi Zhou stood up. If they dare to find trouble, then kill them all. He leaned unsteadily outside the cage. No matter how strong you are, can you defeat countless villains? Zephyr has seen countless strong men who thought they were invincible die. No strong man will believe that there is anyone stronger than him until he is defeated. Whatever is the strongest, number one is all fake. One day, there will be someone who comes after you. This is the fusion of cruelty and romance of the sea. Ha 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 ha, just look at it and smile. It depends on how long I can rest and when I can be crazy. Yi Zhou raised his wine and asked to sing to the moon. He couldn't help but think of an ancient poem he had learned when he was a boy. It was written by Li He. He fell in love and sang. I don't know how high the blue sky is and how thick the yellow earth is. I only see the cold moon and warm sun, which are used to fry people's lives. The main chain mission has been started. Demon King Meeting Part 3, the king cannot be insulted, defeat the beast pirates in 3 days. Task Reward. History Book of Time 3/8. Ha 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 ha. The suffering in the past life leads to the madness in this life. Let's swallow the cigarette and drink it. Yi Zhou's figure was swaying, but his overbearing aura made Zephyr and Smoker's eyes freeze. They couldn't believe it, it turned out to be this seemingly young boy. Madara's heart is so full of vicissitudes of life. He is lonely and needs to drink with others. He is miserable and has no friends in the world. It seems to have everything, but in fact there is nothing. In the alley, when Yi Zhou went away, a series of beautiful figures came out. The Empress and others were holding glasses with patterns of mountains and rivers. A touch of wine swayed in the glass. Captain, he always likes such a person to lie. Don't he know how to tell us? Khalifa was a little sad. What a stubborn guy. Nami was displeased, he couldn't see Yi Zhou being like this. Everyone in the world feels sorry for the beauty, but only Yi Zhou makes the beauty feel sad. Where will we be after this war? Dasky looked at everyone with a smile and lowered his head inadvertently. The eyes covered by bangs stared in Yi Zhou's direction. The Demon King seems to have a loneliness that has been hidden for hundreds of years, which makes people want to cut him open and take a look. Robin's words were as sinister as ever. Why don't they want to get into Yi Zhou's heart? ... Today the sorrow and joy of all parties seem strange. Push Forward City, 6th floor. This place is unknown to the world, but it also hides a group of guys with special identities. A poisonous dragon covered with bandages walked past the corner. He threw a newspaper to Heavenly Yaksha. Doflamingo looked at him without laughing. Not long ago, CP0 sent by 5 elders almost succeeded. If Magellan hadn't taken action, he would have been killed on the spot. This trick of killing the donkey is simply the standard for governments around the world. Hello, is the currency so outrageous? Is your newspaper fake? Doflamingo looked at the newspaper in confusion. He was sent to Impel Down City by Yi Zhou using the Black Shadow Corps. Looking back on those days, I really seemed ignorant. Many of Yi Zhou's later opponents were worse off than dead, with their bodies in different places. He is already treated as a VIP. But the strange thing is that today's newspapers are becoming more and more abnormal. Doflamingo even suspected that the 5 elders did not kill him and sent someone to write a fake newspaper. The sinister intentions are so vicious. The king of newspaper reading. What's the news today? Is that bullshit devil's story being serialized again? The 6th floor of Impel Down is particularly cheerful. They had already seen that the newspapers Doflamingo read every day were made up by people. Everything in the newspaper was more outrageous than the last. If Whitebeard goes to attend this meeting of Demon Kings. Lousy stood on his head and ate an ollie. That old guy is quite unruly. Chains jingled, and someone laughed like a maniac. Is Garp going to be mad? Ha 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 ha, Lousy is in the dark thanks to him. If there really is a Demon King, he will come to kill me, come to kill me. The cage sounded, and these great pirates in the past were actually not dead yet. A figure in the corner slowly stood up. There will always be monsters that dominate the sea. Be it Whitebeard or Garp. It's all old times. Quote, he is muscular and the chains vibrate crazily as soon as he is on his body. It seems that these sea tower stone chains did not have much impact on him. Hey, weren't you beaten badly by Garp? Have your ears recovered? I remember you didn't wear earmuffs back then. Soon. There was joyful laughter on the 6th floor. One after another figures also stood up. The San Juan Wolf and others stared at him without saying a word. The tall man didn't speak, just grinned. Magellan's figure gradually moved away, and finally disappeared on the 6th floor. He didn't want to have to worry about these prisoners. For Yi Zhou, he also wished he could be imprisoned here. If the people on the 6th floor died, it would be too easy for them. Only in this dark torture can they make them miserable. Boom, the man raised his head, his blood-red skin bursting with powerful conqueror's domineering energy. Soon one figure after another fell to the ground. They foamed at the foam, rolled their eyes and lost consciousness one by one. Hateful, why are they also fruit ability users? Are you still like a monster? One of the pirates who barely managed to keep from falling cursed angrily. What's the use of shouting here? Impel the city, can you escape? Bullet. Some people reluctantly held their heads and persisted. Face these doubts. The man in the corner, known as Bullet, remained silent. Fu. The descendant of the devil, Bullet, is a famous name that I have admired for a long time. Why don't we go out together? Doflamingo laughed seeing him. No interest, I don't need a partner. Bullet exerts all his strength. He is indeed a devil fruit, but he is also a terrifying master of domineering and physical skills. Then why do you still want to go out? Because there is an existence worthy of my challenge. Bullet grinned widely and punched out as he spoke. Back then, the flying pirate Golden Lion was able to escape. He can do the same. 3 days later, the whole world is waiting to see. Challenge the strongest creature in the world, Kaido the Beast. The strongest new world boss in group fights, Demon King Yi Zhou. Who will dominate the new world and dominate the world? Captain, the pirate group is ready. Except for Lilith, the other two are responsible for guarding. The Empress stood next to Yi Zhou, she was the deputy captain. Big Boss, Momoshiki, Betty, Smoothie. Strong men from the 3 camps of Marine, GM Army and Pirates. In addition, all the Dark Princesses, pirate ship officers, and combat crews have gathered. Wait until they leave. The Black Shadow Corps, Poseidon type, mechanical sea monsters and small robots will be responsible for guarding the island. This day is also the time when all the big pirates come to Beehive Island to attend the Demon King's meeting. After Yi Zhou and the others leave, strong people will surely come one after another. Good. We are going to Wano country to invite 3 crew members, are you ready? At the same time, take it under your command as a new force. Boom. The powerful crew members all knelt down. The mark of shadow and the 8 demonic chi all bring increases. Yi Zhou stood on the bow of the treasure ship Demon King. He made a crisp snap of his fingers. Set off. Whoosh. The pirate ship disappeared from the waters of Honeycomb Island in an instant. In just the blink of an eye, he was teleported to the waters of Wano country. Big fish jumped up one after another, trying to jump to the top of the waterfall. Yi Zhou didn't expect that his Eye of Aurora would be teleported here. Yes, the terrain of Wano country has some special features. The same goes for being misunderstood. After all, Yi Zhou is here for the first time. Come again. Yi Zhou snapped his fingers. The Demon King turned into a ray of light again and appeared in the sea above the waterfall. Here we are, according to the terrain this should be Julie, right? Yi Zhou stepped off the ship, and the vast crew behind him also landed. Let's do a scan. The domineering power of seeing and hearing swept across Julie in an instant. Kai Julie, do you look down on me? Yi-Jo scanned just 9 miles in the blink of an eye. The country of Wano is not limited to the Jori area. Whoosh, seeing, hearing, and color traverses further without any hindrance. It took just a few breaths to find out the situation clearly. No Quinn in the rabbit bowl. Yi-Jo felt strange that his domineering spirit left the land of Wano. Cross the sea until you reach Onigashima. His intelligence was like radar, and he found some pirates stationed there, as well as Yamato. Hey, Yamato, where's your dad? Yamato, whose hands were in chains, raised his head. Who is talking to her? Stop looking. I'm a little far away from you, too lazy to teleport over. He directly hit the phone bug with his knowledge and domineering attitude. Quote. Yamato looked around in confusion. Can I hear and hear hockey to transmit sounds? Of course, haven't you watched the theatrical version? Jesus and his son Usopp chatted domineeringly. And it is a cross-channel chat between virtual and reality. As long as I see and hear the hockey slightly weaker than me, I can do it. Quote. Yi-Jo said calmly. I see, you are really powerful. Yamato happily wiped the sweat off her face. She was practicing just now. I don't have a father, he is not my father. But if you ask Kaido, I do know. He brought with him the 6 generals Jin, Katakuri, Quinn, Cracker, Jack, and Snag. And Fei Lubao, oh by the way, Bigmom also cried and followed. They are going to defeat Yi-Jo, the Demon King of Beehive Island. Quote. Yi-Jo couldn't laugh or cry. You are really a filial son. A filial son? I'm not filial at all. Yamato said angrily. Ah, yes, I am Yi-Jo. I'll run some errands and find you later. Quote. Hang up the phone bug. Yi-Jo fixed Xiaoyu's position and walked quickly towards the Doli village in Julie. Stop, this is Lord Kaido's Julie. A group of stationed beast pirates blocked the road. Yi-Jo didn't even bother to care. The people behind him were worried that they had no practice. A swarm of swarms went up and chopped for a long time, not even a scrap of bone was left. Doli village. In a remote house, Xiaoyu endured the pain in her stomach and drank a sip of water. She was knitting a small bamboo hat, trying to exchange it for some food. Even so, it takes a long time for Xiaoyu to eat a bowl of rice. Tick-tock. A drop of water slipped from my little hand. Xiaoyu looked up and saw a group of beautiful big sisters. There is also a tall man. Kaido. Xiaoyu nervously took half a step back, only to find that this man looked very handsome. No, he is so handsome, second only to the handsome man who turns the page. That ugly thing Kaido is not as handsome as me. Yi-Jo held up Xiaoyu with one hand, and Xiaoyu in his big hand asked carefully. Who are you? Have you ever heard of pirates, the Demon King? No, Xiaoyu shook her head obediently. Do you live here alone? The little girl's name is Tama, and few people know that she is actually a member of the Kurozumi family. Despite this, both her parents died in Kurozumi Orochi's factory. Hitotsu Tenguyama adopted her and raised her. Yi-Jo came 2 years earlier than Ace. At this time, Xiaoyu didn't know how to knit a bamboo hat, she only knew how to pick up things for food. In other people's homes, he would just be a child still having fun. At this time, one by one, the big sisters rubbed Xiaoyu's cheeks. Lord Demon King, can we adopt her? I can develop a mechanical nanny who specializes in taking care of children. Lilith smiled and touched Xiaoyu's head. No, Ayu was adopted by Master Fighteru of Tengu Mountain. Xiaoyu shook her head seriously. Go find that old thing. After Yi-Jo said something, an old man wearing a mask was brought here not long after. Give these villagers some food. Tell them, Kurozumi and Kaido are both dead. From now on, this will be my king's back garden. Quote. Clear. After the combat crew quickly distributed some food. Xiaoyu gnawed on a piece of bread and ate it happily. She didn't know what Tiangashan Fike and Yi-Jo were talking about. All I know is that when he saw the latter again, his face was filled with tears. He must have been moved. In fact, Tenguyama Hitetsu is the disguised queen of Kazuki Sukiyaki escape. The conversation between Yi-Jo and him is as follows. You trash, you escaped without taking revenge. You caused so many people to die one after another. Why do you know my true identity? To be honest, the war ended long ago after I escaped. No matter what I do, there is nothing I can do to save it. Quote. Kazuki Sukiyaki lowered his head. You fart. After that time, a group of samurai landed on Ghost Island again in a boat. None of them survived, and you had already escaped by then. Why didn't you try to persuade them? Yi-Jo thinks this is cerebral palsy. Everything you say is making excuses for yourself. Xiao Yu will be adopted by our Honeycomb Island from now on. The country of Wan belongs to this king. Yi-Jo walked out of the hut. Xiao Yu only saw Tengu Shan Fighteru being moved and bursting into tears, and entrusted her to the Demon King pirates. For this kind of garbage who likes to find reasons for himself to escape. Yi-Jo didn't want to take another look. After Xiao Yu left, Kazuki Sukiyaki disappeared. Later, some people said that the man named Tenguyama Hitotsu committed suicide out of shame. After solving Julie, we divided our troops into 5 groups. Go to the Flower City, Rabbit Bowl, Nozomi, Suzuo, and Baiwu respectively. Eliminate all resistors and replace them. As you command. From now on, Wano country will directly belong to Yi-Jo like Honeycomb Island. 20 minutes later, the capital of flowers, the general's government office. Kurozumi, the big snake, was running away in panic. When he learned that Demon King Yi-Jo had appeared in the flower capital, he was extremely frightened. Unexpectedly, Yi-Jo just started shopping here. After he tasted Wano's fine wine, he also tried the authentic Odin here. Cherry blossoms. The country of Wano is indeed beautiful, but Yi-Jo does not need to take action to deal with Kurozumi Orochi's strength. The crew under his command just got some training. At this time, the Empress, Momoshiki, Betty, and Smoothie are annexing the other 4 areas. Tashiki slashed a Kurozumi warrior with one sword. These residues have actually poisoned Wano country for so many years. Tina has long been used to it. Wano country is not part of the World Conference. This is what most kingdoms are like. Ion turns a group of ninjas into a baby. Bonnie went one step further and turned all the other ninjas into babies. The two have somewhat similar abilities, but Bonnie can also make people age. It can be said to be the superior fruit of retrograde fruit. Everyone, I'm a nin. I'm here to help you. Ninja saw the beauties of the Demon King pirates in front of him. I can't help but think back to myself when I was young. At that time, she was the most beautiful girl among ninjas. Found it. Violet quickly locked onto Kurozumi's position. I found a woman who doesn't know how to use a sword. She asked us to let go of a samurai named Kwangshiro. Rebecca loses her invisibility, and it turns out that she was the one who captured Hiyori. Rihei fell to the ground and looked up at Yi-Jo pitifully. The scene was a little embarrassing for a while. Take this ugly kunoichi to deal with the Kurozumi snake. Leave this green-haired dancer to me. Quote, Yi-Jo really didn't want to look at Aren again. She is a good ninja who endures humiliation and hardship. But Yi-Jo couldn't bear to see the misery, especially the tragedy like Aren. It really affects my mood. It is comparable to the mermaid mother-in-law on Judiciary Island and the long-slanted Bigmom. Big Boss. The little girl's name is Xiaozi. In fact, it is after the Kazuki family. Quote, Hiyori knows what Yi-Jo is going to do, and Kurozumi will definitely die. It doesn't matter what your name is, just eat this snowy fruit. You will be my winemaker from now on. The wine brewed from pure snow water should be good. Quote, a shui fruit comes from Yi-Jo's previous mission reward. Hiyori ate it in one bite without thinking. Revenge is what she must do in this life. Hiyori didn't expect devil fruit to be quite tasty. Come on, winemaker. Yi-Jo's tall body gave people an invisible sense of oppression. The moment he stepped into the government office, those warriors who were still trying to resist knelt down. When I approached Kurozumi, I heard him yelling, Kushiro, you guy is actually a traitor. No, I am Denjiro, actually. Denjiro was just about to explain the whole story. Shut up, Snow Leopard. How long has it been and are you still reminiscing about the plot? Will he die if you kill him with one knife? Yi-Jo didn't want to waste any more time. Just as he spoke, the Kurozumi snake had 8 heads. Maid. This phantom beast was suddenly developed into Ali by you. What a waste of resources. Quote, Yi-Jo waved his hand, and a dozen of his crew members took action one after another. I haven't finished recalling it yet. Denjiro froze on the spot. He also wanted to reveal all the humiliation and burden he had endured over the past few decades. Unexpectedly, Yi-Jo didn't want Kurozumi to die in plain sight at all. Yang, how many times have I said it? If you meet such a person, you will be shattered into ashes. Yi-Jo doesn't want to turn Kurozumi Orochi into a real Yamada Orochi. Because according to legend, the saliva spit out by this thing will bring poisonous gas and acid. Not cute at all. His demonic energy of fire turned into a great fireball, which soon burned the Kurozumi snake into a pile of ashes. Kaido will let you die without a burial place. Kurozumi said a few villain quotes even in the fire. Your Excellency. Denjiro wanted to say something again. Yi-Jo immediately interrupted his greetings. Your Excellency, from now on I will be the Demon King of Wano country. Clear. Denjiro was ashamed. He didn't expect Yi-Jo to be even more irritable than Kaido. Didn't like the compliment at all. This is not the case for Yi-Jo. He came to Wano country to use it as his back garden. Every area here can have different weather on the same day. And the cherry blossoms are not bad. It would be nice to come here for a drink once in a while. At that time, these people will also be responsible for some foundations and guards. Yi-Jo will have Poseidons and mechanical sea beasts surround this place. Use the Black Shadow Corps and the cyborgs to manage Wano. Is everyone here? Walk out of the general office. The Empress and others have gathered together. Where are Neko Viper and Inuarashi? Yi-Jo remembered that he told them that once a war started, the Fur tribe would have to come and join the war. Going through the phone bug this morning, they seem to be coming soon. Khalifa said quickly. Yi-Jo knew it before he finished speaking. Because he had heard the Elephant Master's voice in his mind. Owner, I have arrived at the waters of Wano country. The Fur tribe have landed. Quote, the Elephant Master was already standing outside the waters of Wano country. It doesn't matter if you come, from now on the inland sea of Ghost Island will be available for you to live in. Yi-Jo's people have taken charge of Wazi country. But there are some people who don't belong to Kurozumi. How Guro and Kawamatsu escaped from the rabbit bowl, Asura Doji became a bandit, and Yasui became a thief. They all felt very happy. They felt like they were dreaming when they saw the Kurozumi snake being burned to a pile of ashes. Big Boss, Neko Viper and Inuarashi finally arrived as promised. The first thing they did when they came here was not to reminisce about old times, but to kneel down. Seeing this scene, Denjiro and others' eyes changed. They didn't expect that Neko Viper and Inuarashi, who had followed Kazuki Oden to sea for many years, would be the first to rebel. Follow me and invade Ghost Island. Yi-Jo ignored them. Shao Juju. Anyone who dares to cause trouble can be slapped to death. Why bother guessing people's hearts when you have absolute strength? As you command. Neko Viper and Inuarashi only felt that Denjiro and the others were ignorant. There has been a lot of hype about the battle between Demon King Yi-Jo and Beast Kaido in the sea. Supporters of the two are almost 50-50. Yi-Jo's rise is too fast, but his record is too strong. Kaido has been the emperor of the sea for many years, and he can be said to be doing it steadily. Yi-Jo, who successfully controlled Wano country, walked towards the port. A ship is ready. There is only one Yamato on Onigashima at the moment. Yi-Jo picked up the phone. Have you found Kaido? Dialed. This is Kurozumi Orochi's phone bug. Khalifa nodded in confirmation. Grr. The people on the other side of the phone were also stunned. Kurozumi, you know that Laozi is going on an expedition today, yet you dare to disturb us. Kaido's beast pirates are heading towards Beehive Island in great force. He and Yi-Jo were really going in both directions. The Kurozumi snake is dead. It's your choice, Kaido. Laozi is at your home. Yi-Jo's words made Kaido furious. Are you the Demon King Yi-Jo? This was the first time Kaido had a direct conversation with Yi-Jo. He was so angry that he could no longer think. Unexpectedly, Yi-Jo would arrive earlier than him. This matter changed instantly, because the Beast's Pirates' invasion of Honeycomb Island is completely different from the Demon King Pirates' invasion of Onigashima. Once the world knows it, it will be him, Kaido, who has declared war. Go back the way you came and accelerate with all your strength. How fast do you want to go? You're such a slow bug. I'm at your home. Oh no, it's my home now. Rinse the mutton first, then boil it with some wine. Quote. Yi-Jo threw away the phone bug. All that was left was Kaido's impotent rage. Hear the roar of the world's most powerful creature in the phone bug. Denjiro and Asura Doji both felt a chill on their backs. Although the person in front of me is tall, he has the face of a young man. It was supposed to be the invincible King Kong Barbie monster. However, the proportions are very good, which makes it look particularly perfect. But now even Kaido of the Beasts is so angry that he has a headache. How can they dare to be so presumptuous? Ashura Doji, Kawamatsu, Leopard Guro and others did not tell Jiro that he was well informed. Not even comparable to Neko Viper and Inuarashi. On the way to Onigashima on a pirate ship. Start to inquire secretly. When he learned about Yijo's past, he felt his throat felt uncomfortable. In the legend, Yijo kills people without batting an eyelid, and destroys 9 tribes if he doesn't like anyone. Wouldn't that be the case for Wano country in the future? Shaguro and Yasui looked at each other. They think it just passed from Kaido's hands to another devil's hands. Just pay what is due on time. Compared to joining the World Conference, and being occupied by other sea emperors. There is nothing better than joining the Demon King's army. What's more, Wano will become a vassal state of the Demon King. It will definitely be more prosperous. Quote, Cat Viper doesn't have any worries, because the Zou kingdom is doing well now. But Lord Odin's dream. Denjiro sighed unbearably. Stop talking in your sleep, Denjiro. Have you forgotten how the 3 daimyo died? Why did Yasui-sama become like this? Why did Senior Leopard Guro stay in Rabbit Bowl for so many years? The warriors never returned, but their corpses were also covered with scars. Quote, Asura Doji's words left Denjiro speechless. What did you say? Yijo was carrying a pot of wine brought from the flower capital. Those who don't want to stay under my command can leave. Those who stay here will naturally become my subordinates. The best time to take action is now. I don't mind beating everyone here to death. Quote, the wine bottle was thrown to Hiyori. As the winemaker, he is also responsible for all Yijo's wines. Hiyori held the wine bottle as she should. See this scene. Denjiro's pupils couldn't help but tremble. He bowed his head to the ground. Master Demon King, if you can help us take revenge and get rid of Kaido, we will follow you to the death. Yijo tilted his head. Revenge? What does your hatred have to do with me? Whether you want to follow me or not has nothing to do with me. Quote. Yijo turned around and said no more. His words made Denjiro, the only one who still had hope for the Kazuki clan, tremble in his heart. Not willing to be the so-called savior. What Yijo wants here are his subordinates, not the followers of his retainers. After all, Denjiro and others are not qualified to become crew members of the Demon King pirates. My subordinate understands. Denjiro and others knelt on their knees and understood the request of the person in front of them. Just kneel down on one knee. There is gold under the man's knees. Yijo boarded the bow and said again. Kneel down. Knees don't hurt either. Anyway, you are used to kneeling in front of Odin. The pirate ship has arrived at Onigashima. This place was once a taboo for countless people, and the battles that took place many times ago cost countless lives. There are a large number of weapons stored on Ghost Island, take them all away. Others are stationed throughout Onigashima. What we are about to face is the beast pirates that invaded here. Quote. Yijo instantly changed his mind. Bao Wulong was about to speak but stopped. Yijo has regarded Wano as his territory. As a lord, it is natural to defend. Just Kaido. Make sure he never comes back. What a fart, hurry up and guard according to the direction. Khalifa doesn't have a good temper when facing people other than Yijo. One word brought them back to their senses. In the corridor of Onigashima. The corpses of the pirates stationed by the beast's pirates fell down. Yijo stepped into a warehouse alone. Yamato looked at him with surprise. Demon King Yijo, the strongest newcomer this year, the emperor of the sea who rules the new world. Yamato, I'm here to take you out to sea. My pirate group has many combat crew members, but it still lacks a full-time combat cadre. I'm looking for someone to be responsible for daily patrols and security. Quote. Yijo stretched out his hand. Yamato, who was originally excited, also shook hands with him. I can go to sea, but I want to fight you and let me see the strong men overseas. Yamato couldn't hide his excitement. She also wants to go to sea, but she also wants to fight. You sure? Yi-Jo asked confirmingly. Well, I want to see how far behind I am compared to the 4 emperors. Yamato tightened his grip on the mace. Wait a minute, block my attack with all your strength. Yi-Jo removed her chains lightly. After the explosion ended, Yamato took off his mask and only swallowed. She was a little surprised to see Yi-Jo after taking off the mask. It would be so oppressive. Get ready, I will only use 1/10 of the pure power. Nani, you think I'm weak? Yamato couldn't believe it. She felt that if she wanted to become stronger, she must fight Yi-Jo with all his strength. Enough. Yi-Jo poked out with a finger. Yamato's expression changed instantly. She originally thought that Yi-Jo would be nothing if she only had 1/10 of her strength without using domineering power. But after feeling this ordinary blow, he felt instinctive awe. The 3 colors of domineering energy are fully present, and the form of the phantom beast Big Mouth True God is also activated. Manage the strength of the whole body and hold the mace in hand. So strong. Yi-Jo in Yamato's domineering perception is like a giant dragon. 1/10 the power. Thunder 8 trigrams. Yamato struck with all his strength, just to block the power of Yi-Jo's finger. 1 force can defeat 10. Yi-Jo poked the mace with 1 finger. Yamato, who was already so powerful, never made half a step forward. No matter how hard she exerted herself, the mace stayed put. What happened? Yamato spoke in confusion, seeing only the next moment. The mace shattered in response. The mace covered in domineering energy was actually unable to block a blow of pure power. And she has mastered Conqueror's advanced secrets. Puff. Yamato didn't have time to think too much when he felt the force causing tremors through the shattering of the weapon. Until it attacks her body. The force causes vibrations that cause objects to break. It can even cause damage to the body's internal and external parts at the same time. What kind of divine power is this? 4 tails can make 1,000 pounds. Yi-Jo withdrew his fingers, but Yamato knelt down on one knee in pain. Of course, if you want to do this, you must first possess the strength of 1,000 pounds. Quote. Puff. Yamato spit out a mouthful of blood and said in surprise, I heard that the strongest man in the world, Whitebeard, has the power to shake everything. Absolutely. Do you like reading newspapers? Yi-Jo looked at her and thought this combatant was pretty good. Occasionally, but now doesn't seem like the time to ask. As soon as Yamato finished speaking, he fell to the ground. What she needs now is treatment. Yi-Jo knew that he was now stronger again. Even without the use of domineering power, this body has experienced growth again and again. What's more, even if you don't actively use the power of the Black Shadow Core and Demonic Chi, both of them have already transformed his body. The horse charm healed him instantly, and Yamato was picked up by Yi-Jo and carried on his shoulders. He strode out of Onigashima Palace, walking towards the port step by step. At this time, pirate ships appeared on the sea level one after another. There are many powerful men under Kaido's command. Demon King Yi-Jo. Roar. Kaido roared and turned into a blue dragon and flew out. Yi-Jo threw Yamato out, who had just woken up. Well, Yamato unfortunately went into shock again. Suffer death. Kaido was condescending, and he turned into a blue dragon and breathed out a dragon's breath. Yi-Jo stood there and also turned into a green dragon. It's just that the body is bigger, stronger, and more fierce. Who did I think it was? It turns out to be Shall Be Fan. Young ones. Yi-Jo used the monkey talisman to turn into a green dragon and roar towards the sky. This is the country of Wano, and it is my king's territory. It has been occupied by the Kurozumi family and the beast pirates. I finally came back today, how can I let others sleep soundly again? Roar. Above the sky, 2 green dragons jumped up. The pirate ship of the beast pirates is slowly approaching. Every strong man has fierce eyes. Abba abba abba. Although Bigmom was beaten silly, he still had enough sense of oppression. But when she saw Yi-Jo for the first time, she decided to take Thunder Cloud Zeus. Madly releasing lightning, she no longer distinguishes between friend and foe. It's him, that terrible man. Obviously, Bigmom has already been psychologically shadowed by Yi-Jo. Just a fight filled her with fear. Seeing Yi-Jo appear on the stage, he started to go crazy and lost his sense. Mom, the battle just started, what happened to you? Katakuri looked desperate. Cracker, Snag, I'm going to stop Mom. On the sea, half of the ships were restrained by Bigmom. Cracker and Snag both had to turn around and stop Bigmom. However, even the three generals still have no advantage when facing the crazy and irrational Bigmom. Smoothie, you betrayed Mom and betrayed us. Owen punched out angrily. As a result, Neko Viper and Inu Arashi blocked him immediately. Smoothie, go fight the three plagues. Leave it to us. See this picture of their own people. Owen was even more furious. Stop it, Owen, get Mom out of here. Smoothie turned toward Quinn. As she walked, her body became taller and taller, and she turned into a giant with a sword in her hand. Wow, the sword energy slashed out, and the originally arrogant Quinn turned around immediately. Why do you have a traitor in your Bigmom pirate group? Quinn's arms were covered with armed hockey, trying to block the blow. But it was broken by one blow. Seeing the blood stains, Quinn was not afraid of anger. I'm going to kill you. He drew his sword and jumped forward. After Yi Zhou's death, the crew members had become much stronger, including Smoothie. Otherwise, how could Quinn easily break through the defense? Fighting. This is the devil's territory. We must not let the beast pirates take a step forward. Betty waved the flag, causing everyone's potential to explode again. Jack slashed with two swords, just about to make a sneak attack. Betty blocked it easily. Hey, who do you think I am? Lousy as the Witch Betty of the Demon King Pirates. You idiot. Betty blocks Jack's double blades. Momoshiki on the other side also jumped out in an instant and slashed at the weapon of Black Maria, the Flying Six Cells. The battle here is naturally crushing. There is a clear gap between the stronger candidate generals and Fei Lubao. 9 black shadows appeared rampantly on one pirate ship after another. Call out. One ghost after another passed through, and more people knelt down. Perona was floating in midair and was accusing an ancient animal type user. I'm a waste. Peggy Wan knelt on the ground and kept beating the ground. How dare you let Xiao Wan look like this, go to hell. Runti put her legs on the ground and rose into the sky. Run your head with gun rain. Want to hurt our psychiatrist. This chef won't allow it. Bonnie appeared, her long pink hair flicking. The whole person spins and kicks away, hard and smooth on Ti's head. The increase in the mountain's demonic energy has caused Bonnie's body, which loves gluttony, to grow abnormally. Coupled with the awakening of two-color hockey after the demonic energy is given. Bonnie's physique is actually stronger than the animal type Runti. Boom. For a while, she was still at an advantage in the battle between the two. Whoosh. Pteranodon flies through the sky. He looked down at the earth, looking for the enemy he wanted to defeat. Naturally, it's Empress Hancock, the vice captain of the Demon King Pirates. This is the inland sea of Wano, so Shirahoshi cannot summon the Poseidon class to destroy all ships. But one of her punches was enough to shatter a pirate ship. Mellow. As soon as the Empress stepped over, thousands of pirates turned into a pile of stone sculptures. I can't let you go any further. Jin turned into an orc and landed on the ground. Just when he was about to say harsh words, the stone sculpture behind him was destroyed by a blow from the crazy Bigmom. Here he comes, that invincible being. He is a god, an unbeatable god. Kaido, run away, that guy is a monster. Have to say. Charlotte Linlin is really kind to Kaido. Even in this state of madness, he still wanted to save Kaido. This is exactly the same as when he persuaded Kaido to leave the Rocks Pirates. She truly deserves to be the #1 sister in the new world. Crazy woman. Jin is helpless. Now more than half of the members of the Bigmom pirate group want to stop Bigmom. Otherwise, going crazy, she could stab everyone in the back with her own strength. Countless cookie soldiers were crushed. Katakori's fruit awakening is also unstoppable. Snag had a headache and wanted to find a crack in the ground to crawl into. This battle is going to collapse. If the captains of the two pirate groups lose, their crews will be completely devastated. You are not strong enough to stop me. The Empress strode forward. In her eyes, even Jin was not qualified to be an opponent. She is pretty good at developing 3-color hockey and devil fruits. Becoming stronger with Yi Zhou's amplification. If you want to go further, you must challenge the real 4 Emperors level characters. Big Mom. The Empress's conqueror's dominance exploded, and she kicked out with a fragrant kick. Bigmom also struck with a single blow. One is Empress Hancock, who was once the only female pirate among the 7 warlords of the sea. One is Bigmom, the only female pirate among the former 4 emperors. Whoever wins will be the most powerful woman in the world. Boom. Conqueror's domineering impact caused the sea to stir up waves in an instant. Where are you going? Jin just wanted to take action. There were Neko Viper, Anuarashi, Denjiro, Asura Doji, Kawamatsu, Leopard Guro and others standing around him. It's just a group of dead souls. Jin 100% believes in Kaido's power. Apart from that, he doesn't care about anyone. In the corner of the battlefield, Blackbeard Teach, one of the 6 flying cells, is not on any battlefield. He wants to escape through the underground passage of Ghost Island. Whoever wins this battle will benefit him the same. The fruits of Demon King Yijo and Kaido will be his best choices to take away when necessary. Hey, where are you going? A figure quietly appeared at the intersection. The mace stood in front of Blackbeard. Yamato, aren't you going to fight? Behind Blackbeard was a group of old men, all of whom were crew members he collected. Stopping you is the task assigned to me by Captain Demon King. Yamato hits with a stick. Thunder 8 trigrams. Ha 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 ha, thief, do you really think you can be our opponent? Blackbeard doesn't mind taking Yamato's devil fruit. But what he didn't expect was. Whales soon came. 12 animal figures appeared. They are all transformed by talismans, and they can be reborn indefinitely as long as Yijo is still around. What is all this? Blackbeard looked at these animals in confusion. Is this a kind of fruit ability? Captain Demon King said that they are peripheral to Demon King. Yamato said seriously, never heard of this devil fruit. Teach is ashamed. He didn't expect that even though he had read the devil fruit illustrated book, he wouldn't understand the devil fruit. The secret path. Blackbeard struck out with one blow, just about to defeat Yamato and restrain him. A sword slashed him behind him. It hurts, Teach wailed, and his crew was also restrained by the 12 talisman animals. The invisible Rebecca appeared immediately. Whoosh. Another sword. Dasky teleported behind Yamato with everyone. Don't even think about escaping. Tina immediately restrained the remaining crew members of the Blackbeard pirates. Master Demon King asked us to find you as soon as possible. It was indeed correct. Violet also appeared. Badgers, let's go. Blackbeard never expected that he would be plotted against by his own people. The most disgusting thing is that he thinks these devil fruits should all be his. Why do I always feel like I'm living in the shadow of the devil? Blackbeard rescued Badgers, and the other crew members were also desperately trying to clear the way. Chua. Just when Teach got up to leave, a finger gun struck him in the back. Cough. Blackbeard spat out a mouthful of black blood. He turned around in surprise, only to find Badgers changing rapidly. Ninetails appears, and it turns out to be Khalifa in the form of Ninetails, a phantom beast species. The captain's plan is really perfect, although I don't know why he is so cautious. But it feels really good when this plan succeeds. Quote. Khalifa just came. The rumble of thunder and lightning came from outside the island, and heavy snow also fell. Nami from the thunder fruit, Hiyori from the snow fruit. 1,000 flowers bloom. Robin's flowers and fruits are also keeping the crowd in check. These are large-scale attacks. You have the disease called becoming a woman. Vivi walked past the Blackbeard pirates. Turn everyone including Shinigami Poison Q into women. Why, I feel like I'm living in her shadow. Shinigami Poison Q also asked the same question in his heart. But no wonder. After all, Yijo had obtained these devil fruits earlier and gave them to his crew. It will inevitably make the Blackbeard pirates feel familiar and yet strange. There's still a 1 in 8,000 chance. Lafitte's wings spread out and he took Vanoka just about to fly away. A pink butterfly flies by. The poison quickly seeped into the wings. Without the Demon King's permission, where would you like to escape? Reiju kicked out with a roundhouse kick. Lafitte coughed up a mouthful of black blood and fell to the ground unwillingly. Then capture the thief first and capture the king first. Boom. Supersonic Vanoka pulled the trigger. A bullet flew from his sniper rifle. Want to hit Yamato? Hello, you have been touched by me. So don't try to escape no matter what. Rabbit Garrote shoots at the same time. A bullet flew out in an instant. Fan Oka's attack had already hit, but was ignored by little Sadie. She blocked the blow for Yamato and knocked away the bullets. In front of the slippery fruit, your attack cannot hit. Fart, I used my domineering energy. The Van Oka people were dumbfounded. The Demon King also gave me hockey. Little Sadie whipped out. Fanoka turned around and tried to avoid Garrett's attack. As a result, the bullet took a turn and hit his body. Mata, domineering energy can be given. Bullets track. What the hell is all this? Fanoka felt that his outlook on life was about to collapse. He fell weakly to the ground. Rabbit Garrett's sniper rifle has also returned to its original form. It turned out to be Baby 5 using the power of the weapon fruit. Hit me. Teach was attacked twice in a row and resisted a Thunder 8 trigrams, but he still fought with Yamato. This shows how powerful his body is. However, it's all meaningless. A figure walked by, and the besieged Blackbeard turned around in surprise. I wanted to stop them, but unexpectedly something seemed to be extracted from the foreheads of Fan Oka and others. It's like a film. While their memories were deleted, they were also tampered with by people with abilities. Bulling. Yi Zhou, the devil with photographic memory, is the memory master appointed by himself. Three-eyed clan. Teach stood up, and he was surrounded by the 12 talisman animals, Yamato, and everyone. But the most desperate scene appeared. Lafitte, Fanoka, and Shinigami Poison Q all stood up. Our master is the Demon King. Our enemy is Blackbeard Teach. Only by defeating him can you gain the recognition of the Demon King. They walked toward Blackbeard muttering. No, so Teach's ambition and government are going crazy. Why is Yi Zhou always in front of him? Even his former crew members betrayed him and became his enemies. It's so abominable. The secret path. Destroy this crazy world. Go to hell, go to hell. Blackbeard is crazy and wants to get out. He absolutely cannot live in Yi Zhou's shadow his whole life. He had obviously endured it for decades and kept getting stronger. Just to get the dark fruit. He left the Whitebeard pirates immediately after seeing Yi Zhou's oppression. The plan was perfect. Not only did they gather the crew from the first part, but they also blended into the beast pirates. With the help of Kaido's power, he obtained the dark fruit. He should have reaped the benefits of this battle. Unexpectedly, Yi Zhou planned every step of the way and didn't even give him a chance to breathe. The resentment in his heart has long been beyond control. He wants to escape and spend his whole life trying to get revenge. By the way, Lord Demon King said that at the critical moment, Blackbeard must be surrounded by shadow troops. I don't know who said it. Next moment, an endless stream of shadow core appeared. The underground passages are densely packed with human figures. Blackbeard, who had already lost his mind, became completely crazy when he saw this scene. He got it. He finally understood. Why did Bigmom go crazy after being fished out by Kaido? It's impossible for anyone else to stay sane. No. The devil is born. He Sheng Teach. Thief ha 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 ha. I'm going to tear you all to pieces. Blackbeard spat out a mouthful of blood. He roared with his mouth full of blood, crazily eroding the darkness and devouring the surrounding black shadows. It's a pity that no matter how he fights, these shadows will always die. Why, you trash won't die. Even he, white-bearded Newgate, will die one day. Why don't you black shadows die? Blackbeard cursed. His body was covered in blood and his hair was disheveled. Until a medium-sized shadow appeared at his feet. Then more and more shadow devourers appeared. The shadow of the devourer Blackbeard. His body was covered with injuries. Under the control of Yamato, there are also ability users and 12 talisman animals, who are besieged by the crew members who have tampered with their memories. Even though his Blackbeard is made of iron, he can still get hurt. Without the shock fruit and being injured, Blackbeard's strength and Yamato could have been back and forth. It's a pity that every step he takes is counted. The last shadow is eaten. Blackbeard felt his breath coming out. He shook his body and looked hard at the world. Boom. The next moment he collapsed to the ground. If you lose your shadow, you will also lose consciousness. ... Above the sky, Blue Dragon Kaido's first sentence was a curse. You dare to copy my abilities. You are a female and I am a male. It stands to reason that you are the one who copied my ability. Qinglong Yejuo's body is indeed bigger than Kaido. The demonic energy of the mountain and the demonic energy of the earth make Yi-Jou's blue dragon form bigger and stronger. The demonic energy of the sky, the demonic energy of thunder and lightning, the demonic energy of fire, the demonic energy of wind, the demonic energy of the moon, and the demonic energy of water serve as blessings. Yi-Jou is also more qualified to be a dragon. In front of him, blue dragon Kaido looked very small. Hot breath. Pillars of fire streaked across the sky, and Jin was overwhelmed by the siege, and his chest kept rising and falling due to pain. He looked up at the sky and raised the corners of his mouth. Brother Kaido wins, everything goes. His voice stopped abruptly. Because a flame that was 10 times bigger turned into a corridor and directly ignited the sky, turning it into a sea of fire. Hot breath. Yi-Jou's voice resounded throughout the sky and the earth. Boom. Nani. Kaido's eyes widened. He didn't expect the imposter to be stronger than him. The little green dragon was swallowed up by the sea of fire in an instant. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.